Oh, there we go. You got four watching, so yeah, we'll see what is. Um, since we're live, go ahead and set things up. It's in the middle of the night, man. Anacetus, what's up? Prince, what's up? You guys, Anacetus, what's up? Prince, Judah, Dr. T, go to bed, Dr. T. Great I Nine, Azriel, Smitty, Ryan Will, Speckled T, Lord Tiki, Red Pill, what's up? Cleveland Green, Gigi, what's up? We're not going to hold you guys long. I just wanted to drop in because Austin did respond. I'm just going to go over it real quick, and because Ed is going to be going off in about an hour. So I'm going to make room for him. Dr. T, what's up? Waffle Weave, what's up? Oh, the Dumer, what's up? So, the Sassy Authority. Yeah, I just wanted to, go ahead and play this video file. Um, and and you go ahead and comment because you guys gonna actually send it to me and ask me to comment on it anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and do this and get this started. So here we go. We're gonna actually play this and respond, and then we get some comments.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. As we mentioned last night, the controversial community of passport bros continues to grow around the country. There's a private Facebook group with more than 10,000 members. Now, the group is known for a bit more than just traveling. Some guys make it their mission to fly around the world, meet more submissive women,
Yep.
and have sex.
Yep.
They are facing a lot of criticism, too. Now, that's from those who critique them.
Yes.
My next guest, Austin Holleman, said he had to end a trip in
Spell his
Brazil
name
early
right.
after he was accused of being one of those guys who said Brazilian women are easy to get. We talked to him today.
It's supposed to be.
Austin, what kind of damn trouble did you get yourself into with these Brazilian women?
Well, actually, I wasn't trying to start any trouble. I actually thought I was doing a lot of promoting. But apparently some things were lost. Some things were purposely lost in translation on purpose.
Yep.
And that it's led to death threats, and I was already on my way to Thailand anyway. I was going to be in Sao Paulo for about a week. But based off the way how things were going, I just said, you know what, I probably ought to head out 3 or 4 days earlier. So I'm over here now.
So I saw a part of your video where you said, and you clarified, you said some Brazilian women are easy.
But you didn't do that on the hit
It
piece,
depends
though,
on
did you?
who you are, how you approach them, not as a robot, but as an individual. And when they heard that, they just went bonkers over those comments when you said that Brazilian women are easy. Some Brazilian women are easy to get. So why did you say that? Is that reality for you when you're there? Is it easier for you to get Brazilian women than, say, American women?
Yes, the culture is completely different there. So women are a lot more responsive. It's a lot more reasonable dealing with women, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
There's games everywhere, but there is such a minimal level in Brazil, it's almost unnoticeable. But the reason I said easier, and the thing is, the reason a lot of those Brazilians are in like an outrage is because number one, they're going off, they're just running. It's just like January 6th, right? Trump says do this, everybody runs and does it. That's the same thing they're doing right now.
Right.
Without watching the video, without understanding what the title actually is, because the title is a question. The title says, "Are Brazilian women easy?" That's the topic. This is what we're going to talk about. The first statement I made is, in general, they're easy to deal with. I didn't say anything about sex. I did eventually later on in the video, but I didn't lead with that because that's not all that was about. I would not move to another country and get online and call the women easy.
Did you move to Brazil? Were you living there at that point?
Yeah, I was living there.
Now you're in Thailand.
Yeah, well, I'm not living in Thailand though. I was already gonna come here anyway. I had already put up I think it was 10 or 11 countries I was gonna do this year, but I just came here 4 or 5 days earlier because of everything that was going on. But yeah, I did want to live in Brazil permanently, but I'm gonna have to let this die down first.
So there's this
he'll
whole
be back. Like I
movement
told him,
that
he'll be
we've
back.
heard about called passport bros, individuals, usually upwardly mobile African-American men who leave the country, and they say they're looking for wives, different women than what they have or the choices that they have in the United States. And many people have taken offense to it, saying it's just a form of sex tourism. It's a form of human trafficking or sex trafficking. When you hear the term, do you consider yourself a passport brother? And what do you think about that so-called movement that we've been seeing as of late here in the United States?
Low key,
I would consider myself, yes. Now, I do want to state this too. People have called me the leader. I've never claimed that. That's something that they said. I'm not. There's no official leader of that. I think it's just an identity of somebody that has they're traveling for that purpose, traveling to meet new women and enjoy a different culture and a better lifestyle. Those.
But really quick, for those who may say this is just a form of prostitution, you're going to different countries to pay and to have sex with women. You're not truly having a relationship with them.
That's not my reality because I moved there. So, if I'm not going back and forth. So if anybody's going to have a relationship, it would have been me. Now, there are some dudes that do travel back and forth. There are some people do fit into those categories that they claim, but I'm not here to say that's the majority. There are men that go down there just to sleep with women women do the same thing too. Women do sex tourism too. But there are men that are enjoying the difference of the culture and programming of women in a different country.
Do you think this gives the movement a bad name, the passport bros a bad name, if your sole purpose is for sex tourism and prostitution?
Yes, and on my YouTube channel, I actually tell dudes not to go down there to deal with prostitutes. Because you cannot complain about American women and then just go pay for some experience that she's getting paid. She's not, I'm not going to say it's not genuine, but I'm going to assume it's not genuine because if you didn't have the money, I don't think she'd treat you like that.
You're absolutely right. Now, one of the comments you made in your video, you said it's extremely hard to find. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack when it comes to a good American woman. So are you doing harm yourself when you make comments like that?
I say that based off of the qualities that I want. And my mother used to cook for me at least twice a day when I was growing up. And I know American women say, oh, you want a mother. Well, if that's how you look at it, so be it. You should Uber Eats all your food then. But I want a woman that cooks. And the thing is, this is what a lot of people don't understand down here. As an American, 50 grand a year puts you in the top 1% of the world. So as an American, you go somewhere to another country, you have enough excess income to eat out 3 times a day in Brazil or Thailand or Colombia. You can eat out 3 times a day. So whoever my wife is, she's not even going to be cooking anyway, because when I was in the States, I cooked for myself, but I have my money multiplied 5 times when I got to Brazil. So why would I stand in the kitchen and cook when I can just go downstairs and eat and somebody make it for me? So
you do know though, Austin, there are American women who will cook for you if you're deserving of that meal.
Well, okay, so that's the problem though. What is deserving?
Meaning you're a good husband. You bring home the bacon and they're bringing home the bacon together.
It sounds good. It sounds good. I think at a young age I realized it wasn't like that anymore.
Did you give it a chance? And how old are you now?
23.
How old?
23.
23?
Watch this reaction.
Man, you ain't giving no damn time.
See, watch his reaction.
I didn't need to. I gave it 2 or 3 years, and yeah, I went to Brazil one time, and I didn't talk to anybody since I got back.
That's when he lost my
See?
ass. 23.
See? Old Negro.
23.
That's what they complain when they say old Negro.
We'll
That's what they
talk
complain
about it
about.
more, and we'll continue with our conversation with
Yeah,
Austin next.
I think he's pink
And welcome
shirt.
back
Yeah.
to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing with part 2 that we began yesterday with the ladies. Don't believe we have left the ladies out. We talked to them yesterday, so look on the website to get their opinion on Passport Bros. But we continue our conversation about the Passport Bros. Austin Holleman says there's a lot of misconceptions about the movement. He tells me his time overseas is not just about chasing that ass.
Austin,
He
once
kind
again,
of
for
vulgar
those
with
American
Austin,
women,
isn't he?
especially Black American women who may be upset with you and the whole Passport Brother movement, Bros movement, how would you describe, would you say all women in America, some women, and are not a good fit for you, or not a good choice for you? Specifically, why?
Well, to sum it up, it's not worth using the mental capacity to find. They're out there in the United States. They're out there. Somebody already got them. You know, they're not in abundance. In the overseas, they're in abundance, especially in Brazil. But a problem with U.S. women, number one, is we've talked about this a lot: masculinity. Okay, I'm not gonna get too deep into this one, but just one thing: I don't like it when women call me bro. I've never been called bro overseas. Even from the women that do speak English, they don't call me bro. Bro is
He's
something my
fine.
homeboys call me.
He's
Okay, that's a turnoff for a woman to
Austin
call me a
Holleman is
bro.
doing just fine.
Women overseas tend to have a lot more
He's
substance,
doing
you know,
just
when they
fine.
speak. You know, I don't know, maybe it is because we're from different cultures, there's more to talk about. But at the same time, I have ran into a small minority of women in other countries that didn't have a lot to talk about, even though we were from different cultures. But in the United States, I have ran into a lot of women that did not have a lot of substance. Man, I don't know how I forgot these points because I repeated them for 6 months straight past year. But I don't know. It's just overall, all aspects that you'd be looking for out of somebody, I found a better chance of finding it overseas.
What are your thoughts on coming back or moving back to America?
I think moving is out of the question. Coming back to visit, yes, but it'll be another year or so. But moving is out of the question. Once you move overseas, it's not just about women too. That's a lot of people don't understand that about the whole movement. Yes, women drove me to go to Brazil because I wanted to meet. I thought I was crazy while I was in the States because I thought something was wrong with me with the results I was getting. I was like, I know I put in enough work on myself to have some better results to at least be satisfied or be visually satisfied with what I'm looking at and what I'm hearing, the people I'm dealing with. But whenever you get down there and you experience how much you can be yourself outside of the country, and then the financial benefits, just the energy outside of the United States is a lot better.
And so do you maintain a U.S. job that's based in another country? How do you maintain that income?
Well, right now I have several streams. So number one, I get a lot of donations, and thanks to the lady that has put me on this platform today. I'm not talking about the lady you work with. I'm talking about the lady that's trying to slander my name right now. She's been giving me a lot of donations as well. I appreciate her negativity.
Get them.
I'm also a content creator, so I do consultations as well. YouTube, I do Facebook. So I diversify based on my publicity.
Got it. And so what are you going to do now about these people in Brazil, those women who are now, or some of those women who are now angry with you, cause you to leave early, cause you to leave that country early?
There's a lot of other countries in the world that speak Portuguese. Not a lot, but it's not just Brazil. So if it is ruined for me permanently, I mean, I would hate it, but it is what it is. Second, when this is all said and done, like I said, I need an apology to clear up my name. For all the people that decide to not even watch the video and come to my comments and talk to me in a very negative, crazy way. There's going to need to be an apology. And from all the news platforms in Brazil that promoted me as this sex trafficker, sex tour. I don't even have a car. How am I going to traffic anybody? I mean, I know you don't have to have a car, but I mean, I don't even have. I don't have any money. Sex traffickers are rich. Last time I checked, I don't even have any money.
Get them.
Have you ever, at any point in dating some of the women outside of the United States, given them money?
For food,
But
if
it
you want
wouldn't
to.
be, in your opinion, exchange for the actual act of sex.
No.
He's dating. Okay, he dates.
And really quick, I guess this is my last point because we heard this from some other women. They say many of the passport bros, and this is just what they're saying, that
That's what
you
you're
take
saying.
advantage of
That's
women
what you're saying. That's what
in
you're
some
saying.
instances in third world countries who are very poor, and you are there spending money on them, whether you consider it paying for sex or not. You are taking advantage of these very poor individuals, these women, for the sole purpose of sex. So your thoughts on that?
There may be some men out there that are doing that. That doesn't apply to me and the men I know because first of all, these women don't ask for much. A lot of people got to remember this is not the United States. In the United States, women ask for a lot.
Yes, they do. Get them. Get them.
A lot of U.S. women will put down foreign women and say that they're so broke and poor. But the country I was born in is the same country that a woman will call you just to take you on a date, just to eat a free meal. That hasn't happened to me overseas. There always is a minority, or there always is the exception of dudes that may be doing that. But nobody's forcing the women to do anything. Whether if a man is looking for a wife, a girlfriend, a good time when he goes down there, and I'm not talking about paying for a good time either. Those women are on the same page usually. You can get a variety of everything. If you're looking for somebody serious, they're down there too in other countries. If you're looking for somebody that just want to hook up with you, there's plenty of that too.
Got it. Well, Austin, you be safe. Yeah. Let Brazil cool off a bit before you head back, and we wish you the best, and we thank you for dropping by here on the Factor Uncensored to talk to us.
Fake concern. You know it is. All right. That's it. That is it. Okay. Good job, Austin. Good job. Good job. Good job, boss. I can't complain about it. Good job. So, he actually, do interview. He probably is. He actually started some of this kind of stuff. So he actually, those women that he brought on, he actually recruited those women. And one of these chicks was actually an OnlyFans. Um, let's see if I have it. I do believe. Let me see if I got it. Let me look in my bag of tricks. See if I have it. Because Shay Sharday actually put this image up. See if I can find it. See, you got so many places to put things. There she is. Yeah. This is one of the women that was actually on there. Okay. This is one of the ones that was interviewed. Okay. She is an OnlyFans model. Okay. This is her. This is Poet. This is one of the women they actually recruited. This is the one that talked about them going down and tricking and being licks. And she is an OnlyFans model. Okay. These are the people that they actually recruit. She's the one that accused passport bros of sex tourism. Okay. Does it look like she's concerned about sex tourism or about her escapees leaving to do something else, taking money out of her pocket? What do y'all think? Yeah, she's a biggin. Hey, y'all like them thick, man. Don't even try that about biggin. Y'all like them thick, man. I I hear a whole bunch of folks, man, a whole bunch of guys, man. We talk about big chicks, and y'all be defending them. Y'all be defending fours, man. Y'all be defending fours. But you know what? I'm gonna give a slow clap to my boy. Okay, he hit the points. He stayed composed. The old guy couldn't rattle him, even though he sneak dissed him behind his back. He gave the right answers. He actually answered all the questions appropriately, and basically, homeboy couldn't find any holes in his argument. Okay, more than me is just coaching him. And he's listening. He actually is very astute. He actually listens very well. He takes advice. Okay. Sometimes he slips up, but that anybody can slip up. And the stuff that he did got blown out of proportion. Like he said, he didn't pick himself to be the face or the leader, right? The media picked him to be the face. It is what it is. But he's been put in that position. He didn't want to be put in that position, but he was. So I told him, bro, go and take advantage of it, right? And what I told him about making sure his name was spelled right, he actually used that. I was kind of surprised. He actually used it. He said, the lady that put me on here, that called me on to Fox and actually put me on here, is actually making me more money by spreading my name. He actually used that. I said, if you're gonna be a villain, make sure they spell your name right, okay? Because you being an anti-hero is actually gonna make you a hero and actually make you more money. So make sure that they give you your proper press. That's one thing I told him. He actually used that. So kudos to him, man. He learns pretty fast. So it's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna be on here for another 40. Well, he learns, man. Some people can pick up advice, and some people can't. So I am going to put the link in because I pretty much said all I needed to say, man. I actually put out a video earlier about my reaction to the previous interview. You can actually go back and see that if you want to, okay? Because I know when he was actually going to do an interview, I said, okay, instead of me doing it, like pre-recorded, it's easier to just do it live before uh, Edward gets on and get you guys to actually react to it live. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to speak. If you guys want to come up, it's up to you. If not, I'll keep riffing until um, the Black Authority is TBA. But you got to remember the Black Authority is most of his clientele are female. I think it's like 70 or 80% female. So he's going to cater. He's a pro black that will cater to females. Okay. So you can't take what the Black Authority says with any kind of veracity. Always you got to take him with a ton of salt. Know where his money comes from. If you know where somebody's money comes from, they tell you where his loyalties are going to lie. So he's going to attack anybody that's going to take money or men out of a woman's pockets and out of their control. So he's completely against men getting out of control. He does get on the women because they need to act right. But thing is, on the other hand, if men try to escape, that ruins his that takes clientele out of his pocket, out of his control. Yeah, follow the money. What did they say for Deep Throat? Follow the money. The thing is, when I worked out the numbers, right, there's a real reason for them to be concerned, right? Because Austin Holleman talks about 50 grand to leave, man. Um, single black males, single black males that are 50 grand and up, okay? 50 grand and up, okay, only make up about 16 to 70%, less than 20% of the single eligible black males for black women make 50 grand and up. And I think there's only like, I think last count, there's only about 700,000 of those, right? 600,000 or 700,000 of those men, right? That are 50 grand and up. The bulk of them make, 50 to $70,000 a year, right? Which is solidly middle class. Okay. Those are the guys that can travel. So every person you take out of that 100,000, okay, is one less guy for the 80% of women that are looking for him, or really the 100% of women that are actually looking for him, because they're all looking for the same guy. So if you take an Austin Holman that makes 50 grand or 60 grand that I'm sure he makes as a barber, you take him out of the mix, that's one less guy, right? If you get a movement of educated of middle class men leaving the country, say 100,000, man, you reduce the eligible men in this country, black men in this country, by 20%. That's a big hit. They're scared, especially during these economic times when they're laying off people. You take these men out of the country, they can actually work remotely and make 50 grand and above to actually live outside the country. That's a big hit. And had a whole lot of women that need these guys to come in, and make a household. You got a lot of these guys that want to be married, okay? That want to be married, not just play the field, but be married. Taking eligible, willing to marry black men out of the country, even the big guys that would normally wife up single mothers, right? Because that's what you actually allotted to a single mother that's a five, that's making 20 grand, right? That's going to take her out of poverty, right? That guy's leaving. I can get a better deal overseas. Naturally, naturally, they're going to be upset. I'd be upset too. It's called economics. That's a real threat. It's not one of those things. Well, we don't care if you leave. Okay, they do care. And the guys gonna get better life and telling other people, hey, you don't have to put up. And if you're making 50 grand, you don't have to get you a overweight, sassy ass four. You can go get you an eight. Just leave. Just cross the border. I said, Jim Rat, I just came back from Afrochella in Ghana. Okay. It was full of American black women looking for a long stroke Kofi. You know what? They were looking for long stroke Kofi, but also they're looking for American men because they can't stay over there. Okay. They can't stay over there. They can go over there and visit, but they're actually looking to come back, but they're looking to marry American men that are over there. Because when I first went over there, right, there's very few females that would actually go over there. Okay, even on tour bus, it was mostly males. Okay, it switched because they have a lot of repatriated African American males that are over there, and those women think they're going to go over there and then look for these expat African Americans, right? It's not that way. They're going to have a tough time. And Ghana is one of the few places actually female friendly that's actually safe. Y'all can jump in at any time, man. You don't have to wait on me.
Now, I remember you had a video where you spoke about some black women that went to different parts of Africa
Oh yeah,
and how difficult a time they were having.
yeah,
You
That's
know,
true.
yeah.
hypogamy
That's very
works.
true.
That they have this. There was the same problem. I think Charles Toddy said the same problem when black women go to Brazil. They don't get no
Hmm.
love down there. They
What's
don't get no love down
interesting
there.
is like we're with the passport bro movement. I mean, we've seen what hypergamy that's left unchecked, what it looks like in Western nations. And
Hmm.
what passport bro movement is the precipitation of unfettered hypogamy,
Hmm.
right? And to be honest, like hypogamy can beat hypergamy any day because there's always people doing worse than there
Yeah.
are more people doing better.
When
I'm
when you
glad
when you
you.
when you
Go ahead.
globalize dating, this is what happens, right? Basically, it's like mercantilism, right? The cheaper price for labor is going to win. That's what's happening right now.
Did you ask?
Because
Thanks for your question.
go ahead.
Uh, in your assessment,
Hmm.
as this economy downturns, right?
Hmm.
Um, what do you see in regards to sisters not complying in the sense of how harsh this is going to be economically compared to, in my opinion, it looks like it's going to be worse in '08.
Okay. Okay. There's and Adam, you can jump in if I'm wrong at any of these points, right? Uh, I see three factors, right? One, they got to get over the shock, right? Because they still believe that the government is actually going to come in and actually save them. That's one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, they can't change fast enough
Hmm.
to
Mm,
actually keep up with the competition because there's all kind of women, especially foreign women, coming in that actually compete for the same guy. They can't
mm-hmm.
change fast enough. The third thing is that the previous generations, like the boomers and the X's, didn't prepare these women to actually do what? Be wives. They're not wives. The
Yeah.
last group of women that actually trained to be wives that didn't want to be wives are actually boomers. After that,
Wow.
nobody trained the black women to be wives. They're not wives anymore.
Hmm.
So they have to compete with foreign women and other women that actually trained to be wives. That's the problem. They're not trained for these positions. So basically, they're asked out. They're gonna have a hard road to toe, and
And
they're
then
Yeah.
gonna
with
they got to become really humble. But it's going to you just can't untrain three generations of women back to the way they were prior to 1960. It doesn't work that way. It takes a
Even
while.
with, do you think also even with the economical situation? Because like, I just someone sent me something from TikTok, a black
Yeah,
sister.
yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one.
Well, she was
Um,
crying.
Not that one. It was a sister who just said basically they just shut her computer off. She started emailing her friends, and they were like, "Yep, we all got our computer shut off." And she was a contractor for Google.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Yep.
happens. All because the thing is that I don't know where I think Adam knows about this, right? Okay, a lot of your tech companies, especially, hire and keep their cash flow going because they have cheap interest rates. They borrow a lot of money.
Hmm.
Mm,
A lot of tech companies are actually really close to that red line. Okay,
wow.
and so the way to keep the cash flow going is that you have dirt cheap money, right? What happens when the
Hmm.
interest rates raise? They have to start cutting
Mm,
costs,
Yep. And the
right,
feds have
Adam?
been raising them.
Yeah, right, Adam. Am I right?
Yeah, a lot of these tech companies they're running on red. In fact, there's a great video by Economics Explained that actually went over the emergence of these zombie companies. There's a lot of
Yeah,
companies that are raising up
yeah,
just for the venture capitalism. They're not
right.
actually designed. In fact, I'm trying to remember who said it. It was it's actually the CEO of Circle. It's the company that makes USDC coin,
Yeah,
and they said that the new trend with tech companies is to build up a company to the
yes,
point where it creates a feasible product and then to
yeah.
sell it
You
off.
sell it off.
wow.
That's been that way since the mid 90s. They
Yeah.
would they create a tech company, get big as fast as they could, and then sell it off. They just did that with hell. They just did that with Zoom for the most
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
and go public. Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
try to do.
The second the virus was over, they just they sold it because I mean they made their
Yeah.
most money during that those three
Oh, yeah.
years, and they're like, it ain't getting better than this.
Hey, Twitter got away
Yeah.
with they got in under the wire. With
You're
with
right.
with
Elon
with
Musk.
with Elon Musk. Yeah, he got shackled with that. Now he's got to make a profit with it. So
What was
he's gonna have to cut staff.
what's interesting is looking at the charts. We could you can looking at the charts and the pattern for the past 100 years or so. Well, for the past 100 years or so, the 4 year cycle, the presidential cycle has been well established, right? That the
Yeah,
post-election and pre-election years tend to be bullish, and the 2 years in between tend to be consolidations,
yeah, yeah,
capitulations, or bearish
good.
turns. And so
Yeah,
we're going to see the valuation of stocks and even the overall economy begin to look like it's improving. So the economy will improve, but it's a facade, right? So the
yeah,
economy is actually getting better, more money is being made, but that
yeah,
money is still being consolidated in fewer hands, right?
yeah,
And so we're going to see the economy looking good, but people such as the average black woman or average black American being left behind.
yeah,
And so these brothers who are upwardly mobile, making this move is going to have an even larger effect, because there will be fewer of them that are being produced, right? So I guess it's one thing when you have every year, let's say 10,000. I'm just using a random number, but let's say you
yeah,
have a 10,000 or 100,000 new black men that are making 50K a year.
yeah,
But when every year now it's only 5,000 that's being produced, right?
yeah.
Because there's fewer jobs going around. The jobs are being globalized. The automation is reducing those jobs, just like you spoke about with Chat GBT. I mean, you can write whole papers. There's students doing their homework with Chat GBT.
Yeah, and the customer service, all that kind
Customer
of
service, yeah, it's a
because
wrap.
ChatGPT is a baby compared to the other four that they actually own, right? That's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
baby.
And so when we look at this in the grander scheme of things, it now the question of we know what's about to happen as far as at least we can forecast with relative certainty with what's going to happen. The economy is going to be better. The disparities between the rich and the poor is going to get larger. The
Yeah,
middle class is effectively gone, right? And so either you're marrying to an upwardly mobile man or you're just in the gutter for the rest of your life, more or less, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
we know what's interesting now is seeing the trend with government, that government is now leaning more towards egalitarian policies, right? They're trying to lean away from these draconian policies because they know it's really not sustainable.
Hmm.
And so there's a push towards evidence-based practices and things of that nature in many
Hmm.
branches of government, including family services and the courts, right? So they're beginning
they,
to turn. What's
they have
interesting,
to.
they
They have
have
to.
to.
In other words, if you can't recruit these men to come back and marry these hoes, it's over.
There's
They
no
'cause
hope.
they can't support these women anymore.
They
So you
can't.
need men to come back and actually work with these chicks, okay?
That's
But you
true.
you fucked over them for like 40 years. They're not liable to just jump back in without some kind of guarantee. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
What I think was interesting about this interview was that there's so many people, and I really wanted to hammer this point home, that there's so many people who are dead set on telling black men, shh,
Yeah.
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 be silent, don't say anything about passport bros. You guys just, if why don't you guys go over there and just shut up? Why don't you
Yeah.
guys, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Austin came right on. He did an excellent job. I'm glad he came on and spoke, because black men have been, first of all, black men haven't even had the microphone for any length of
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and the second we get a chance to speak, we're being told to shut up. And so it was great, so great to hear Dr. Johnson's show earlier he had with Gigi, when he was
Mm-hmm.
speaking about the value of having Black masculine studies,
Right.
of having a space like this,
Right.
and just whether it's SYSBM or Passport Bros, MGTOW, Ibmore, the Red Pill in general, Manosphere, right? Just having our voices heard, because he had to bring Austin on, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
that would illegitimize his whole point. In fact, looking
Right.
at the comment section, I'm pretty sure he, that's the reason why that interview even happened. Because reading the comment section of the original video, it was
Yeah.
all, wow, what a great video without any actual Passport Bros on it.
Yeah. The thing is, we have a voice, and there's enough of us to have a voice to actually affect change, and that's what we're doing. Black Socrates, you want to get in?
Sure. You guys can hear me well?
Yeah, a little bit, but you speak up a little bit if you can. We'll work
Okay.
with it.
Okay. I hope you guys have a good evening. I find this whole debacle quite just hilarious, because
Uh-huh.
it's kind of surreal. You take a country like Brazil, where
Mm-hmm.
prostitution is legal. They
Mm-hmm.
have a notorious carnival where women are topless or fully nude.
Mm-hmm.
People from all over the world travel to this location for the express purpose of joining this festivity.
Right.
And then that's not the problem, though. It's this one lone black young man who
Mm-hmm.
goes to this country, right,
Mm-hmm.
and asks a question about a woman's, promiscuity or whatever. And
Right.
it just goes to show that there's this obvious intention in policing black men's sexuality, which is
Yeah.
historical, right?
Yeah.
Back in America, a lot of the lynching that occurred because there were rumors of black men getting involved with white women,
Mm-hmm.
usually consensually, right? And then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden they lie and say, oh, black men are predatory. Birth of the Nation played upon these tropes. So these are the
Mm-hmm.
same tropes that are being played. 'Cause I find it fascinating that this feminist, this self-professed feminist in Brazil, she's gun-ho about, protecting the image of Brazilian women and stopping sex tourism and sex trafficking.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, why didn't she boycott or call for the boycott of the carnival? That's the most obvious,
Yeah.
situation in terms of viewing Brazilians as
Oh,
sexually available.
you already know why, right? Because black men are the sin eaters of the whole world, right?
Mhm.
They're easy targets,
Yes.
and he's the face of a whole movement that's already gone mainstream. It's a way to get her name in the papers and a way to get her name out there and known worldwide. It's easy it's an easy reason why they picked
Right.
him. Okay.
Yeah. No.
But at the end of the day, I think this is much to do about nothing.
It is,
There's
but the thing
yeah.
is, the thing is, this is the tail wagging the dog, right?
Yeah.
If you're
What do you
loud
mean?
enough, you don't have a comeback for it, a response for it. It would have actually gone over. The thing is, they don't realize we have a whole sector of the management behind this guy. They didn't intend on that.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. And like I told him, man, it doesn't matter, man. All they're gonna do is make you more famous. Tell them
Mhm.
spell
That's
your
it.
name right. That's what he's telling them about being on Fox. I hear, I love it. It just makes my profile bigger. That's all. So he
That's
actually
true.
used that. Yeah, yeah.
And
Go ahead, James.
I was gonna say, because he's so young,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also giving so many young brothers to a light bulb switch.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that scares most of the our sisters in all demographic ages, because now
It should.
he's taking he's you see a young man taking a stand
Yeah.
versus listen to his mama. Don't you be
Yeah.
listening to, you know what I mean? It's a huge dynamic shift.
Yeah.
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 I have
And
Well,
he's got all the talking points down too. Like 1, 2, 3. There was nothing that he came up with a question he asked that he couldn't answer. I said, kudos
Mhm.
to the young man. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, it was interesting too, because I mean, actually, before I became Victor, I had dated two Brazilians.
Hmm.
I speak Portuguese fluently. In fact, I read the article that there's a news article that Asham Academian on my page he shared from
Hmm.
Brazil. It was in Portuguese. He was asking for a translation. I was reading through it, and in the
Hmm.
page in the article, she said that she had sent letters to the Brazilian consulate to all these people, but none of them responded
Yeah,
because
Of course not.
they couldn't do anything about it, right? Because he
because
didn't do anything.
he didn't do anything. Okay,
So why they don't want international problems with the U.S. government for nothing? Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, why? Even locally, they don't want that kind of problem. He didn't do anything. What are you going to charge him with?
it was also interesting. I don't think that it was interesting that feminism in Brazil, and this goes. That's why it's so striking because this is exactly what, or at least this is an aspect of social dominance theory that Dr. Johnson's speaking about
Right,
from Jim Sedanius, because
right.
the same feminism we have in the United States, there's a similar version of it in Brazil,
Just smaller.
right?
Hmm.
Among Black Brazilian women. Well,
Yeah.
it's a divide, and it's interesting. I think that Stephanie Ribeiro over there, she doesn't want any of the Brazilian men, Black Brazilian men, to get a similar idea and start going to Venezuela and Paraguay and Colombia.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because the Brazilian dollar, the real, is really
Yeah,
strong, so they can go to other countries. It's not that
they
Brazil. They
can.
keep saying Brazil's a third world country. Brazil is a part of BRICS.
Yeah, they
Brazil's
are part of
currency
BRICS.
is
That's
two
right.
to
Yeah,
one. Like
Yeah.
$1 is two Brazilian reais. That's not very. I
yeah,
mean, going to
No.
Guatemala, that's 1 to 13,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just
Brazil is
for
definitely.
Yeah.
Brazil is
What?
not a
1 to 8,
poverty
really.
country.
It's 1 to 8 in Guatemala.
Oh, it's one
Yeah,
to eight now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, Adam, would you say that? Uh,
The queue is very stable. It's been 1 to 8 for the last 10 years. It's
Oh, very nice.
they get a lot of remisas coming back from the people here
Yeah, that's what it
into the
is.
banks. Yeah.
The quexalas are strong, man.
The quesalas are strong, man. 1 to 8. I just checked it maybe 2 days ago.
Nice, nice.
I was
But
gonna
go ahead,
say,
James.
would you? I was gonna say, would you guys say that the Brazilian currency is probably stronger than the South African currency? Um,
I mean, I'd have to check. I'd have to
Yeah,
check
I mean
the
it's relative. Yeah.
current exchange rate. But
Yeah.
I do know that Brazilian real is really strong. I mean, I do a lot of trading, and man, you can tell when Brazil comes on in the morning. You
Hmm.
just see them charts go wild. Any country that's a major exchange, I think it's called forexclock.com, where you can go there, and if it's a major exchange that affects world currencies, then
Hmm.
it'll be listed
mm,
there. And whenever they come on, you can always see it on the charts. You'll see things move 50 pips, 100 pips in one direction. That's bank power. That's institutional power,
wow,
right? If you're a small country and you're a third world power, you're not making gold go up $100 in a day. I mean, you're
gotcha.
not doing it. You're not doing it, right?
Uh,
So, Brazil is a superpower. Like news events in Brazil do affect their trading pairs around the world, and so Brazil is not a small country. They're a net exporter of I forget. I mean, they export coffee beans.
So
They
it's
export all
coffee
types.
beans. So it's a lot of soybeans come out of Brazil.
A
yeah.
lot of soybeans come out
That's
of
why they're
Brazil.
trying to
Yeah,
cut down forests. They're trying to grow more soybeans. Okay.
yeah.
I have
Brazil
an
is
economic
huge.
question for both of you.
Hmm.
Um, with the way the society is being, obviously, I would say the trajectory.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, middle class is getting crushed. What do you think are going to key factors for brothers to either level up to either sustain or acquire um, things to actually have way more mobility in the
You got to
economic?
you got to skill yourself up, man. Unless you got a lot of money to
It's
move,
the same thing that worked throughout human history, having skills. The
it's,
more skills you have, the more valuable you are. Your income's proportional to how valuable your skill is and how hard is
mhm,
it to replace it.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think really looking uh you're and it's kind of hard to say. I mean, your forecasting ability has to be very strong because
Hmm.
and by that I mean being able to forecast which skills. Oh, $1. Oh, okay, the real must have fallen pretty strong before because
Oh,
it used to be two, but
it
it
used to be
fell.
too, but yeah, I thought it was
Yeah,
about 5, but I hadn't
yeah,
checked it. So,
it makes sense after the U.S. dollar index has been rising nonstop for the past
Yeah.
260,
uh,
280 days.
well, we know why, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's a different story. But
oh, yeah,
we don't want to get into that.
yeah. Yeah, that's a complete.
There's a whole big reason. That's behind the walls, sir. We can't do that here.
Yep.
But I told you got that back in what, March? About
Yeah.
what they were trying to do. It didn't work. So now we're stuck with this. And the
We're
Saudis
stuck
just
with.
said we're going Petrodoll is
Yes.
pretty much dead right now
Yep. I saw
because
that
of what's
article.
going on. Yeah, hell, they talked about. I knew that when it was back in back in April. Okay, this is what's going to happen. What they try to do to the Russians. Okay, that is not a good faith actor. That actually makes people very nervous playing with their money like that.
Yep.
If
I
you're
mean,
supposed to be the banker,
look what they've been doing to Japan the whole time. I mean, only in the past 3 months they stopped devaluing the Japanese yen. I mean, but but to answer your question, what black men, getting into, I mean, STEM is like what everyone says, and it's important to, that is a catch-all answer to get into STEM. But I want to be a little more specific here, nuanced, and that you have to look at the STEM fields that automation is assisting, but is not replacing.
right?
Right.
Okay.
So
That's a very
I
good.
wouldn't get into desktop support, right? That's basically just getting wrecked by STEM. Anybody who can look at Google or
Oh yeah,
ChatGPT can pretty much figure out how to do desktop support. It's good to know how to troubleshoot, but you're not really going to get a job with that. And the
yeah.
wages for desktop support is going
It's
down
going to
now
go
as well.
down. Yeah, yeah.
In addition, the amount of skills you need, like all the people I know that are making six figures as desktop support have like literally dozens of certifications and decades of years of experience. Like you can't get that in 6 months, right?
No.
Gotcha.
Cybersecurity is good. Getting into, I mean, learning even Python is kind of being replaced. But learning Python, PyScript. I mean, there's always good, coding languages to learn that you could start with. Rust is another good one.
Yeah.
If you want to get into blockchain development, that's also another avenue that brothers can look into. This is going to take some effort. It may take a year, maybe a year and a half of straight studying. If you can take time, if you can afford to take time off, or if you're not you, but like the person, the brothers in question, if they're not working at a particular time and they could afford to study for a whole year, I would recommend going those routes.
Yeah,
But
the easy money's gone.
yeah, it's over.
The easy money's gone. It's
So,
over. Yeah.
Plus, they're pumping a lot of money into putting black women into STEM, so now you got more direct competition.
But
right?
they don't have the aptitude for it. That's the only
They don't
problem.
have the.
They
Yeah,
don't
I
have the
agree.
aptitude.
They're gonna keep throwing money at it until something happens. That's what they do best.
They're throwing money at all these problems for women. They only can come up with like 10 to 12%. So
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can throw
Yes.
money at a situation,
I'm
but
going to
the
tell
money's
you.
not infinite.
hold on, Charles. Hold on,
I'm
Charles.
tell
Go ahead,
you.
Black Socrates. Charles, hold
I
on.
was saying,
Hold on.
I was saying
Go
you
ahead.
can throw money at a situation. You have been doing that, but obviously money is not infinite, and you run out of money. So, like, what's going on with this whole woke Hollywood is a prime example that you can attempt to push an agenda, but you're limited by how much funds you can allocate to it.
You can't put women into positions that they're not capable of actually handling. It doesn't work that way because most women can't handle this kind of logic. They can't. So there's so few. Like most women would rather take a $30,000 desk job rather than take a $150,000 uh, IT job because
That's
they
true.
don't want to do that kind of work. It's too stressful for them. But they don't have the aptitude for it. You have to have some kind of aptitude for this. Kids can't walk into this stuff and just do it. It doesn't work that way. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. So everybody doesn't have the aptitude to do that kind of stuff.
Well, basically, I think like Microsoft just announced 10,000 layoffs, and that's Microsoft, which is a virtual monopoly.
We don't know there's more support than just people doing IT or programming stuff like that. You got people doing support. You got people that are doing in sales, all kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that I assume, I don't know,
Yeah.
but those jobs are not the actual engineering jobs that are.
They're probably
nuts
not.
and bolts.
Yeah, they're probably not nuts and bolts. And go ahead, Charles, jump in.
Hallelujah. I'm going to PB Anonymous, Passport Bro Anonymous. I had a passport since about 15. Does that make me a passport bro? Man, I don't want to hear.
You're not an active one.
I'm not an expert at traveling overseas, So.
No, you're not an active one. No, you're not doing it right now.
Oh yeah, I'm in the passport bro reserves. 1 weekend a month. Yeah, shit like that. Like I'm looking at that chick, and something told me, like, what is this fat chick complaining about? The little recorded video. Kind of found out her fat. You know the women with the fat on their elbow that look like a tennis ball, golf ball or something.
Yeah,
And she's an OnlyFans model.
yeah. She was actually recruited. She didn't just volunteer for this. She actually recruited for this.
You know what? This makes me realize is that you niggas, I will never pick niggas to be a beauty contest judge. I swear to God, man, y'all.
Well, she's OnlyFans though.
Yeah, she need only lipo. That's what she need.
How many followers she got? Now I gotta find out.
I have no idea. That's a good question.
Not to mention that it's always funny how feminists have this one-sided or inconsistent. You need to protect women, right? So a woman can join OnlyFans at 18, and that's
Yeah.
fine. That's not exploitative. But if a guy who earns a lot of money, or relative speaking, if he leaves America and go to a country where the relative exchange rate allows him to be in the top 5 or 10%, he's somehow exploiting the women there.
Yes.
So the women, like
According to whom?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I'm
You
like,
do. Come on, man. You do know. Go ahead.
Let
And say
me
you
let
know
me
who it
break
is.
this down for
Now,
you.
Charles, hold on for a second. According to whom?
according
saying
to
it?
these bitter women
Yes.
in the West who are left behind.
Yes. There's a
Let
direct
me let me
impact on them, right? Go ahead,
let me
Charles, and then we're
let
gonna
me
get
let me break this shit down because
black-minded.
I got my PhD in bitch babble. Look,
Mm-hmm.
number one, you go somewhere to enjoy your life from your hard-earned money. You're exploiting broke women, but in the United States, you're supposed to help out broke women with multiple kids.
What,
But
what,
that's
what, did,
not
what did Dr. Umar say? You're gonna have to help out these single mothers, right? You're gonna have to marry them, wife
and
them
you,
up, right?
and you know what Dr. Faulkner said? Fuck all that.
What did he say?
He said, fuck all that. He says, give all, okay,
Well,
give all the,
she comes with an OnlyFans account, man. She can make her own money. You just have to give her a little support, right?
give her. See, Dr.
Notice the
Umar,
toys. Know the toys on the floor.
like, let me ask you something. How
Uh-huh.
many, God damn, look at that shit. She got
Toys
the
on the floor.
roll, she got the
Yeah,
big elbow,
yeah, she
she
got
got the
got
toys,
2 kids, right?
We live in
Yeah.
she got,
public housing.
she
Hmm.
got footprints on the fucking ceiling. How the
Oh
fuck?
yeah. Hey, by numbers.
I mean, you got to remember when Dr. Umar says something, this comes up in my mind. How many
Hmm.
fat bitches you dating?
We don't want to ask that question. You might have find an answer.
Wasn't he
Speak,
caught
my
talking
brother
to the white
is.
lady in the mall?
He was questioned by her. I don't think he was caught. He's trying to recruit more money. He doesn't turn down $1 now. He knows where his money's actually being made at for him.
Yeah, you need to learn how to put in a brick or two. Put the school
BG,
fee.
Go ahead, jump in,
I was gonna, would you
and we'll get
say,
black mine in after this. But go ahead, jump in.
yeah, would you say the poverty rate amongst black women is much higher than what they assume with the way cost of living is, and also, would you also say that a lot of black sisters really don't even travel domestically because they can't even afford it?
That's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But even if they could afford it, right? Basically, they're sellers, not buyers. They can't get what
Yep,
they want overseas, right?
they can't even get it over there.
There's a big difference between black men traveling and black women traveling. Black men are buyers, not sellers. So our costs go down. Her costs go up.
Mm,
They can get a higher price for the services than actually in the United States with black men.
But,
gotcha.
but,
They go to Africa, go to the continent.
but
You have to
wait a
pay
minute,
for him.
BGS. Weren't these
Hmm.
the same?
What these what?
weren't, weren't they the same broads who were paying 10,000
You're breaking up, Charles.
dollars a pop to get some little budget Nigerian guy
Oh yeah, yeah. They
and a
had to import
baby?
him. Yeah, yeah.
Good
Aren't
evening,
those the
gentlemen.
same bras paying
Hold
ten
on, hold
thousand
on,
dollars to
Snowman.
get a broke ass Nigerian
Yeah,
dude?
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Black Mind, jump in.
I'm over here dying over what Felix the Observer said in the comments. He said that she hates looking for her toys in the kids' toy bin. Uh,
Y'all, I can't take y'all nowhere, man. I really can't.
Nowhere
I
at all. He just killing me. I mean, I had to cover. I had to hit the mute button when I read that. When that was just that was too much for me. I wasn't ready for that one this early in the morning over here. But what I'm seeing is that honestly, because this thing is going mainstream, and
uh-huh.
I'm going back to Austin Holleman because it's going mainstream. Cats here that don't even necessarily know the term passport bros or SYSBM for that matter,
Right.
they're still learning about how it is that men from over there, from the West, are leaving behind the women that are coming from there as well. And well, I mean, we're seeing a lot of changes here too. But one of the things I've noticed was that ladies here ladies that are from the West but are working here don't have a shot now. It used to be that they had at least a shot if they were in a bigger city like Riyadh or Jeddah or Dammam of marrying a local man
Mm-hmm.
that was successful. There was a chance of it. There was always a difficulty associated with it. It was a gamble. But now, at the same time that this place here is becoming more open minded, the Western women's stock is dropping right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
And that's for white or black Western women. Is pretty much if you came up in the Western, or if you came up in, it could be Western Europe as well. It's like now the stock is dropping. You got these guys here now saying that they'll forgo the blonde hair and the blue eyes, even, which was a big deal for them. They said no,
Mm-hmm.
they'll forgo that. They're not dealing with the Western women. And if these Gulf women don't learn to take less, they'll stop dealing with them as well. The only
Yeah.
thing that's slowing that down is
Mm-hmm.
that they got sisters and they don't necessarily want their sisters to get married for affordable dowries, or they got
Mm.
daughters. That's the
Okay.
only thing really slowing down the acceleration of that. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, you're gonna start seeing more guys from this part of the world doing the same thing, and they're gonna
Or jump
say
ship. Yeah.
they're going to jump ship, and they're going to tell their women, you can't say a damn thing because over there in the States and in the UK, you got those men, and they're largely going to be pointing at us. They're going to say, you got those black men that are dealing with women and make demands like you do, and they're
Mm-hmm.
leaving them. So you
Yeah.
can't say anything to us about going next door to Yemen or going to Iraq or going to Jordan or Egypt to get married.
Egypt or Somali
see,
or
or
Sudan.
Morocco.
Yeah.
Well,
This is starting to
Morocco,
sound a lot like the Bob. This is starting to sound a lot like what took place in the Old Testament when God instructed certain people to, hey, don't deal with the women in your own home. Go to my neighbor. Go to your neighbor and find a
Mm-hmm.
wife.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse, sorry for cutting in, gentlemen, but
Well, since you cut in, make it quick so he can finish his thought. Okay.
all right. So go ahead and finish your thought, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, you can
My
jump in right after
apologies.
him.
well,
Yeah, it's okay.
well, with regard to Somalia and Sudan, one thing that's not going to change, and that's actually pretty good for us right now, is that they still do not prefer black women over their own bronze women.
Okay.
They're just now not looking necessarily at that Western white woman like she's a major catch either, and that's good for us because they ain't ready. I mean, we still got a few race problems here. They're just not dangerous and violent and that sort of thing, but they're here, and I'm learning more from a black Saudi that I met recently.
Yeah.
So no, it's good, and I think that we should actually resort to making physical threats against some of them. Like if I catch you trying to marry a black woman, I'm gonna punch you in your chest because they they still got a few issues, and sometimes when the ones that do like sisters try to
Uh,
marry one, they think they're doing a favor, and they don't even mean any harm.
yeah.
It's just too
It's
deep
what
rooted. But
it's
that's
what they've been taught. Yeah. But
yeah,
dating and mating is being globalized permanently now. It has.
yep,
Yeah. Go ahead.
absolutely.
Go ahead, Coach D.
All right, it's an honor and privilege to finally be able to catch you in one of your shows and be a part of this panel.
Okay.
Um,
Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, Austin, the what works against you can work for you, and
Hmm.
their attempts to slander brother Holleman down in Brazil actually gave him the latitude he needed, or
Yeah.
gave him the boost he needed to make this thing go wide open. And I'm just sitting back and laughing. At first,
Yeah.
I was upset about
Hmm.
what happened.
Mm-hmm.
because that false accusation nonsense happens a lot here. During my years in the ranks, I saw many men lose their careers behind a false accusation
Mm-hmm.
from a female service member. So I'm just sitting back and I'm smiling. I want to ask the panel: do you believe in a scorched earth policy? What I mean by a scorched earth policy is that um, women in the West in general, African American women in particular, simply be left flat on their behind. Nobody deals with them. You're shunned. You are treated like a disease. That is, and I sent a letter to El Guapo about this because, look, it's to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Women in the West in general, black women in particular, especially in the United States, have had, by my reckoning, over 50 years to course correct.
Yeah.
Over 50 years. And they still, oh, hey, I'm hearing the background somewhere.
If somebody's got talking, mute your mic. Okay, go ahead.
They've had 50 plus years to course correct. Now, during that 50-year time frame, black men have been tarnished, badmouthed, and bashed via every form of modern mass media communication,
Mm-hmm.
and generation upon generation of black men. Now, black women have also had warnings. First warning came in the form of Diary of a Tired Black Man. That film is available for free on YouTube right now. I own a copy
Mm-hmm.
of the film. The next one came in the form of, I believe, it was the film Frustrated, Black Man in
Frustrated.
Brazil by yeah,
Right.
by brother Al Grease.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Manosphere stood up
Mm-hmm.
as a result of that film. The late Charles Tyler started the whole black man's option movement, which
Mm-hmm.
gave birth to what we now call the Passport Bros. And then finally, the last that was another warning. Finally, the last straw, the last warning to black women, their last opportunity to get their heads out of their fourth point of contact as a collective was the late brother Kevin Samuels. And
Mm-hmm.
what happened? First,
It went
they
mainstream.
ignored,
Yeah.
sir, they
It went.
ignored Diary of a Tired Black Man.
Mm-hmm.
They that had little to no effect.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Frustrated film came out, which gave
Mm-hmm.
rise to the Black Manosphere and brothers beginning to look at traveling abroad again. As
Mm-hmm.
brothers had been doing that since the end of World War II.
Yeah. But
And of course,
mm-hmm.
let me finish that and then jump in. Once all of that happened,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things passed.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, I've noticed that black men are starting to pack their bags and roll. More and
Yeah.
more black men are getting their
The,
passports by the day.
the environment has changed. It's been globalized. You can actually do it easier than you could even 2 or 3 years ago.
Of
So
course,
that's
and
what
to
they
make
actually
matters,
heightened the way. Yeah. Go ahead.
and to, but to make matters worse,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Me Too movement was the straw that broke the camel's back for a
Mm,
lot of black men.
not really.
But
Not really. Not really. I think. I
okay,
think. I think. I think COVID actually woke a lot of black men up. Okay. All the got
certainly
shook
did.
them out, woke them out of their blue pill conditioning. So that was actually the straw. The real straw um, was actually when they went up against Ice Cube, and the black one actually laughed at him. That's the straw that actually
Oh
broke.
yeah, the contract with Black America. Oh
Yes,
man,
yeah. That was the turn. That was the
yep.
turn. Yeah.
And of course, um, believe it or not, a lot of people looked sideways at Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and even I did. But I started learning that this dude was actually trying to do some stuff for black men.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, even though this man didn't know how to keep his mouth shut, had
Mm-hmm.
he kept his mouth shut and let his work
Yeah.
speak
And
for him, he
we're
might
gonna
have.
make we're gonna kind of wrap it up and get to the next guy. But go ahead and finish your thought.
Okay. Simply put, right now is they've had more than enough time to fix themselves. Winter is
They,
here. Black men are leaving, and I think it is time for the scorched Thursday. It's time.
I,
It's
I will say this, right? Basically, uh, the economy and COVID brought black women back to the table. They actually negotiate. When they came back to the table, guess what they had? The same old shit, which is nothing.
hmm
The black guy said, "Okay, we're done. No more talking. We're just gonna go do our thing." That's what The rise of passport bros, SYSBM just took a hold.
And that is why it's time. That's why I
It,
mentioned the scorched earth policy to
let,
brother El Guapo.
let them compete. If they can compete, take them. If they can't, guess what? You're out of luck. So it's called indifference. It's not scorched. It's indifference. If they can compete, take them. If not, guess what? Go for better options. Don't be
My
don't
thought
be
is
ashamed about it. And
my
go
final
ahead.
thought, and then I'm going to jump out. Hey,
Okay.
Ali said it best. If 10,000 snakes were coming down now, and only 2,000 of those snakes were, if 10,000 if 10,000 snakes were poisonous
Mm-hmm.
snakes came down the
Mm-hmm.
aisle, and only 2,000 of them were non-poisonous,
Mm-hmm.
do I take the chance and hope that I come in contact with one of those non-poisonous snakes, or do I shut the door and save myself?
You shut the door. And the thing is that if you can move fast enough,
That's what needs to happen.
some people can't move
That's what.
fast enough. Everybody
And
can't leave, man. It is what it is. Everybody can't leave. So the things
if we
you got
pull our resources, I'm almost certain we can do that.
I don't know, man. I don't think.
I
Show me
don't.
the numbers. I don't think so. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's not happening.
Go ahead, Snow. Go ahead, Snowman. What you got on
It's
the topic?
it's just it's just all the hypocrisy that has been dumped on us
Mm-hmm.
unfairly,
Mm-hmm.
and we're finally tired. You know, we finally, as a group of black men, said,
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
and we're
That is true.
leaving.
And we're leaving. Yeah.
We're getting. It's like I said on Charles's channel earlier. Basically, what black women have done
Mm-hmm.
is give us two choices:
Mm-hmm.
get out or get the hell out. And what's happened with the passport bros and the explosion therein, we forcibly took option C. We got the fuck out. We got the fuck out because
I
you
love
can
it.
listen. You can only, as a black man, as a man first, two as a black man especially, you can only take so much. COVID knocked some sense into all of us. It certainly knocked some sense into my ass.
Yeah.
It certainly knocked some sense into me dealing with that for a year, and then my subsequent health problems because of that. But we
Mm-hmm.
finally not only said to ourselves that we got tired, we
Mm-hmm.
voiced it aloud. And the moment we started voicing it aloud and backing it up with some actions, it pissed them off. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's that was it. Like I said, we finally said
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's true.
we took our balls, took our passports, and have
Yeah.
gone abroad. We started dating out, and when
Mhm.
they decide to try to check us, anybody
Yeah.
remember who's going to check me, boo? Good God.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
finally looked at them and said,
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
The women said niggas ain't leaving. And
and
guess what
we
niggas are doing? And we said, well, yes, we are.
and we finally said,
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
and
Okay.
walked off.
And walked off. Yep.
And walked off like a game-winning slam, and have
Walk
all of them saying,
I think I just broke my chair.
walk off homer at the in the bottom of the ninth, huh?
Oh,
on a
BGS.
3-2 pitch.
I love it.
on a 3-2 listen, it's like they kept throwing us change up after change up after change up, and somehow we kept fouling it off.
Mm-hmm.
The black man kept fouling it off. Yes, I'm using a sports reference. My wife is smiling at me, even though she hates baseball, but she loves the fact that I'm using this reference. Kept fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch, and finally they made an Aroldis Chapman mistake to Jose Altuve and laid us an 84-mile-an-hour changeup. And we finally said, you know what? Fuck this shit, and cranked it.
Cranked it, yeah. Shout out to the Dodgers 1988.
Yes,
Walk off.
Kirk Gibson
Kirk
against
Gibson.
Dennis Eckersley.
Yep.
What did Gibson say? That backdoor slider. They threw us. They finally threw us that backdoor slider,
and he
sidearm, and we hit
cranked
that. And we finally hit that pitch one-handed.
Yep.
We got tired. I got tired in 2010 when I got first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, was dating a black woman at the time. I was in the hospital 3 weeks, didn't hear from the bitch. Anything wrong with that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Lots.
Ooh.
Yep. We got tired. Go ahead and wrap it up, Snowman, and we can get to chaos.
Yeah, that's about what I had on this. I'm glad I caught this tonight while I was working on some things. So I hope this really takes off. I do. I really hope this.
It's already reached escape velocity. So I think this is the young lady's
Yeah.
Twitter.
I just wanted to be very quick with it.
To take it needs to continue to take off like the original number 23, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, go ahead, Chaos.
This was something that you guys mentioned earlier, so I just wanted to show that she doesn't have any followers in her. She got like 30 likes on OnlyFans page. So I mean, I'm not sure what the benchmark is, but I'm pretty sure more than 13 likes, more than a Facebook post would be profitable. So
so she was trying to get publicity for her venture, huh?
Yeah, the most she's got on her channel and on her Twitter page is she barely got one comment on the Passport Bros thing. So like she's basically a nobody, but they put her up there. You know,
yeah.
I just wanted to point that out.
Who is this?
This is the poet. This is the chunky chick that did the interview.
Yeah,
the
this one.
Holleman thing. Yeah.
Oh, the walrus.
Yeah.
It's pretty ironic.
Y'all ain't shit.
It's pretty ironic that they brought a woman. That they brought a woman like that to advocate for a reason why men should probably leave America.
In fact, they did the job, man. The tar baby lived.
Gentlemen, I am so retarded. I'm so sorry, guys. I just realized those two were the same. When I saw the OnlyFans picture, I was like, "That she looks familiar," but I probably saw on TV. Now I'm putting it together. Yeah. Oh my God, they had to bring her up to say something.
What did Kevin Samuel say? You can't make this shit up.
A big woman with 2 kids. This is why you should stay.
Yeah, single mother. Talking about a two family house.
Yeah. What did that bring her?
Daddies.
So she came from a 2-parent household and ended up with becoming a single mother, right?
A single mother of 2.
And it's funny because she has more. Like they gave her a platform instantaneously. Austin Holleman has 35,000 subscribers. He's traveling the world. But before they called him on, they brought this woman who's got she's got 138 followers. She barely gets any likes on her OnlyFans. I mean, you can't get people to follow you even if you take it off, right? And they put her on one of the most powerful. I mean, Fox News is one of the biggest news stations in the country, arguably in the world. It's a very powerful network, and she got on there before they put him on. I mean, that's just showing the scale of how easily Black women can have their voices heard, even an absolute nobody like her. And I'm not picking on her. But she is a nobody. That's just a fact. Like,
please pick on her. She deserves it.
I mean,
and you content creators, please put your channels in the chat and pimp your channel, okay? Because I don't have time to do it. Black Mind, if you need a wrench, just type something.
Okay. So I just wanted to add that. I didn't mean to, because I know someone else was going to speak, but I just wanted to finish this up from earlier.
Okay. All right, you're moderated, Black Mind. Pimp your channel. We got 400 people watching. Pimp your channel while you have the opportunity. Same thing with you, Snowman. Pimp your channel. Go ahead, Chaos. You in?
Thank you, sir.
So it's only 2 ladies on that Isaiah show that have OnlyFans. 2 of them.
So what?
Is it both of them have OnlyFans?
I don't know about the other one. That's just the one. Why?
Oh, interesting. So he's bring up ladies that are selling their box on OnlyFans to talk about what Black men doing outside this country.
You got to get them where you can get them right?
That is not a good move.
We're too dumb to pick up on that, though. We would never found that out.
I've heard about this from Shade's channel, and now you're showing her actual page. So I thought.
Somebody told on her. Oh, that chick's got OnlyFans.
All of her 3 followers.
One of the 35 actually turned her in.
So are they for sex work or against sex work? I'm confused. Like, are they for or
They're
against?
for foreign sex workers, not
No, they're
domestic
they're
sex workers.
for on you to pay for here in America.
And other, why you going all the way out to overseas to get what you can get right here?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do
I listen, because they're not overweight with 2 kids.
We gotta find 1 to 35 that snitched.
You got to buy American, sir. That's what they said in the 80s, right?
Oh, buy American.
We gonna have to put that out as a catchphrase, right? For black sex workers in America, buy American, right? No foreign jobs, okay?
Actually, can't
stop shipping your jobs overseas, goddammit, black men.
I get it.
Stop shipping the goddamn sex jobs over motherfucking seas, black men. Stop that shit. It's un-American, goddammit.
Oh man!
Ouch! 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 Ouch!
It's fucking un-American.
I want to know which one of the 35 snitched. Is it you, Charlie 365? Was it you? You were my favorite one. Why?
Yeah, which we're trying to boost up Black Minds channel. I got 400 people, and every subscriber counts. I always say this: subscribe and give them 2 weeks. You don't like them in 2 weeks, take your subscribe back. Give them 2 weeks. If you like them, stay. If you don't, bounce. Okay, it's pretty simple.
I have to go and check that channel out.
Yeah,
I appreciate the endorsement, sir, and I hope to earn that compliment and be of benefit. But I try my best to actually be of substance every 5 days at least.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, give him 2 weeks. He's got plenty of content already up. Go through his content. Give him 2 weeks. You don't like him, take your subscribe back, but at least give him a shot. You know, that's fair. Okay, go ahead, Chaos. You're on. Going.
No, you're still talking to BJS? Huh?
Yeah, we interrupted you.
Yeah. One thing I'm probably gonna watch this whole interview because I know Isaiah's gonna put him on, and from what I'm seeing from the channel, he holds.
We just watched his whole interview at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I was watching from partially from Zenith's channel. He was playing clips of it still.
Okay.
I would say he did hold his own, and it's ironic that I know Isaiah because he works for a network that he has played this game. You know, because obviously he's not the first young black man that's over the age 18 to travel to be asked these weird questions. You know?
I'm gonna do a short though about Buy American with her picture on it. Protect our sex workers' jobs, goddammit. Buy American. You dusty Negroes.
Can I add this thought in there?
Go ahead.
All right, it's funny.
My side hurts right now anyway. Go ahead.
When I was stationed abroad, since she's gonna bring that up. When I was stationed abroad, the sex workers in the red light district over in Germany far outpaced even the sixes over there outpaced the ones over here masquerading as workers. Why do I say that? Because none of them have to resort to bait and switch like they do over here. Okay. Now, especially in Backpage. When I came back from Iraq in 2009, I got introduced to Backpage before they swooped in and shut the whole place down. And I came across more bait and switches than a little bit. You know, I mean, it's so that whole Buy American, damn that.
Come on, man.
I will stick with the foreign jobs any day. Now, mind you, I'm married, so I'm out of the game. But I want my younger brother who feels, man, you ain't got to go overseas to get no bitches. His exact words. I wonder what he's saying now. And I have two nephews. I want them to see what we've been seeing for years.
Yeah, that's your whole experience will actually change your mind about being overseas. So if you only spend 2 weeks, at least go and try it out. You know, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, brother, I lived overseas for half my career during my time in the Army.
Okay.
So that's why I stayed over there. I mean, like, dang. For a long time, man. I I had red pill rage before I knew what the term was. I saw for myself, and I'm like, wow, women in the West are spoiled rotten. That was
They
my
are.
thought process.
They are. They actually are. We're gonna go
Yeah.
another 20 minutes, and then we're gonna kind of wrap it up. Go ahead, Black Socrates.
I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. So I'm originally from New York City, and
Okay.
during my last year of college, I had the grand opportunity of becoming a promoter for the high-end clubs in New York City. So this is where all
Okay.
the bottle buyers, trust fund kids, and models and celebrities go to. Right?
Mhm.
Really, really lucky, right? Because I was basically a socialite without having to pay for it. Now there were black guys in this place who were usually promoters because it was considered exotic to have a black guy there.
Mhm.
Every black guy that ever went to the scene, as it's affectionately called, started dating foreigners. And as soon as they dated foreigners, they never dated black women ever again. And that has been my experience ever since years ago being in the scene. That
Okay.
women in this country cannot compete. Like, it's so bad that out of one friend of mine named Evron, he was a promoter. He would fly over to like Sweden or Netherlands, get average women over there, shack them up in Manhattan, and have them go out to him with clubs and get paid for it because
Okay.
the average woman there looked way better than any woman in America because they were not fat, they were skinnier, they were a certain height, they just looked better. They act better, they have better treatment. And so the worst thing that could ever happen to American women is for American men to go out there into the world and see what's available because it's really going to be a slaughter for them.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have the product is inferior.
Brother, from New York, it already is a slaughter. They are getting murked right and left. They just don't know it yet.
And let me add some cash apps to thank Cornelius. Thank you. JC. Thank you. What else we got? Kareem, as always, thank you. James, thank you. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Anybody else want to jump in?
I was going to say on the final note, I mean, I've been fortunate to travel since 19, and for all you brothers who have traveled, my biggest message to all the brothers who are still skeptic or still kind of scared, man, just go, man.
Yeah.
Free yourself. Just
It's
be
never
at peace.
it's never been a better time to go because the
Yes.
Yeah, just to
internet,
experience it.
the internet and the globalization is actually working for you right now. It's the best time to go.
Let me add this.
Go ahead.
Before you go into a host nation, and this is what I learned from the military, before we have any kind of deployment, we always have a train up. So what I'm saying is, if English is not the primary language, understand, have a working knowledge of the local language, have a working knowledge of the local customs, courtesies, and of course laws. And last but not least, know where the U.S. Embassy is. So in the event you do run into some problems, you know where the resources are. Tracking?
Agreed.
Before
Go
I
ahead, Smitty.
go, there was one.
Go ahead, Black Man. Jump in.
I'll wait for Smitty.
Okay. If you got to go, then go ahead and jump.
If you can go ahead.
I can wait for Smitty. Let's go. It's okay.
Okay, go ahead, Smitty.
Before I would like to say with the whole Austin situation, it's funny because if you I was listening back to Art's last stream, and Black Man Option said that it's mostly white Brazilians are actually defending him, and actually it's not even all black Brazilians mad at him, but it's actually because most people view what he did not as a serious issue, and I think the main issue is that feminist chick just pointed him out because he was a black easy target because somebody showed videos, and we all seen these white Europeans going to Europe and doing the exact same thing, even worse. But it just shows you
that guides. They sell guides. They have whole forums. They have whole websites dedicated to sex tourism and which spots to go and how to maneuver. They're the face. The white male is the face of sex tourism.
It was until now. Until black women made black men the face of sex tourism.
I mean that's my main thing. And there's things that I heard from talking to other people that are down there or people that talk in those groups. I heard they're saying that he was doing like he was causing them too much attention, like starting a fight and everything. I don't agree with that, but what I definitely don't like is how they try to say that he was trafficking. I think that was the main issue where people know he wasn't doing that.
They're repeating what black.
Wait.
They're repeating
How was he?
Hold on
How
a
was?
second.
Okay,
They're
right,
actually
right.
repeating what black women are actually saying. They're repeating black talking.
They're repeating, that feminist. What that
Yeah,
feminist?
the feminists actually repeating black female talking points.
Yeah.
How can he traffic? What, is he trafficking women to Brazil or trafficking Brazil women out of it? Like
they said he's actually encouraging black sex trafficking. He didn't do it.
They took advantage of
how is he encouraging? Like, is he bringing women to the country?
They took advantage. This is what happened. This is what
that
happened.
is a definition of trafficking. Thank you, brother from New York.
It's called.
They're lying. They took advantage. Hold on. Let me say this. They took advantage of the miscommunication through the languages. That's all they did. She had the advantage, so that's how she fed it to the media because she'd been to America, so they looked at her as an expert.
Yeah.
But she just took advantage of it. And once Tanya TKO, or I think her name is, did the interview and pushed her on that, she didn't have no smoke for it because she never reported any white guy. She never made this an issue. She's seen that if Austin made himself a target by doing too much sometimes. And people reached out to him and try to talk to him.
Well,
that's the only thing.
How did he do too much though? What did he do? No. I want Smitty to answer. What did he do that was too much?
Like I said, I've been watching his videos. He didn't do anything nobody else does. But the only thing I say that he's black. That's the only thing in it.
That's why we got to stop this shit in its tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're gonna do this every place you run, every place you go to. They try to start the same shit. They're not gonna stop.
But people were scheming on him. I'm saying like the way he moved and everything.
They still scheming on him stuff.
I'm saying the local Brazilians were going to rob him, and somebody jumped somebody. That was the issue. They saying you need to calm down with that. Those are the only issues that I really found. But everything else, he was fine.
I mean, to be honest, brothers are getting robbed out here in the U.S. too.
Oh, I know.
I mean, we just saw a woman hit a brother in the head with a bowling ball, and people laughed at him and stepped over his body. Right. Then she went and made a strike. I mean, if you see somebody moving wrong,
I'm just saying, if you see somebody moving wrong, you just let them know what's up, and you let them know like people out here is scheming
wrong in the first place. That's the thing. Like we keep saying it, bro. Like another African guy did the video. They had the same video with a white guy. In Austin.
We know.
And then literally,
I agree.
The white guy asked the exact same question, word for word, bar for bar, bro, that Austin asked. There was no issue. The only issue, like BGS said, was the fact that he was black. If you do not stop it now, it will be a problem later. I just sent that man $350 towards his lawyer fee. He is not playing this game, bro.
He was the face of the passport bros. They're trying to stop this in his tracks because
I agree. But there was other issues with the thing he did off of camera. That's what I'm saying.
What did he do off the camera?
What did he do off camera?
Since you would have to be there to honestly see that. So what did he do off camera?
Like him getting in the situation. I'm not saying it was his fault, but it's just that people made him.
How do you know it was off the camera? So how do you know?
In other words, if he got into a fight, that can happen to anybody. What's different?
Yes,
but
I'm trying to say
about the fight.
Go ahead. About the fight.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
About the fight, I remember him mentioning that he was with somebody that someone else stepped to and started a fight.
Okay.
And so he was more so there than he was in the fight itself. So even then, if I'm with you when someone steps to you when you fight and I try to break y'all up, then it's not something I could be blamed for, and it's the same for him. But the other thing too was that what Austin did. Now, granted, I would agree that he could have worded some things differently, but he was given these short clip interviews, and as we all know, coming from his generation, he's trying to appeal to an audience that has a much shorter retention span. So no matter how long his attention span is, he's rushed when he's trying to put these shorts up and give these short interview clips and things like that. So yeah, I would have worded differently. Most of us that have just been around longer would have done so. But in terms of what he could have really done differently, well, it's going to take him years to learn. And that's what he's in right now. He's going through these years to learn what he can do differently and how he can word it differently. He shouldn't have said easy. He should have said easy going. I would agree to that point.
Easy to be with.
I mean, let's be honest. People, regardless.
Hold on. One at a time. Go ahead. Let's be honest.
Easy to be what? Easy
No,
to be what? And I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think I made my point. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Finish your point. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You have the floor now, Adam. Go ahead.
I was saying, let's be honest. Like, he was getting hate long before that. They were looking for any, like, if he hadn't said that, they would have said, they would have pointed at anything.
Hold on a second. You want your camera on? Not if you want your camera on. Got your camera on. All right.
Yeah, so people, regardless of what he was saying, people were going to come at him. I mean, the Brazilian women, but everything that he asked them was translated into Portuguese. They knew very well what he was saying, and many Brazilians also already speak English. I mean, I got a Facebook page full of Brazilians that read and write and speak English perfectly. They've never been to the United States, so everybody knew what this guy was talking about, and they knew what he meant by his questions. He wasn't asking anybody for. I mean, it was completely exaggerating. That's why no government officials over there took anything that she said seriously. Right. And if anything, they have a whole police department dedicated just to violence against women. We don't even have that in the United States, and they have that in Brazil. So if they had any reason to believe that he had done something, it's a not third world country. They have the resources to go after him. If he had done anything that was unlawful in any regards, he would be in jail right now in Brazil. Right? That's not the case. So all this stuff about it's dangerous and things like that. I mean, there's danger here. There's danger anywhere. It's fear tactics are used to tell black men basically to be quiet. And I'm glad that black men are have their voice. They're getting up and they're speaking for themselves and saying, if I want to live this life, who the hell is anybody to tell me what I can and can't say, where I can and can't go?
Let Black Man get in.
My bad.
No, it's okay.
Well, he said that she had to lie in order for him to be breaking the law. But the thing was that he didn't seem to be fleeing from the authorities. They can stop him from leaving if that's the case. And I've been in that similar situation.
Hold on.
I've been in that similar situation before in the States. I mean, a few years before I left the U.S., there were some cyber vigilantes that were going in on me, and they had the FBI investigating me. Now, eventually, I was in touch with an agent, and he explained that they do have to do some follow-ups when they get tips and things like that, but that they don't just assume that everything they hear is necessarily true. However, it did cause me difficulty in traveling before. I could travel, but it was difficult. I had to go to the airports about an hour and a half early, or an hour earlier than most other people would. To get cleared. Yeah, they had to make sure it was me and not another guy with my same name and all this other stuff. And I wound up losing the only good job I had. And one of the reasons that they gave unofficially off the record, I wasn't supposed to hear this recording, but one of the reasons they gave was, oh yeah, Black Man, he goes to the airport early when it's his day to fly back home to visit the family. Well, I was not losing any work time anyway, but it was still an issue to them. And so the thing is that sometimes the thing is that it's not always the legal authorities that can make trouble for you. Remember, you still got corporate America, you got corporate Brazil. And so Stephanie Ribeiro was able to get vigilantes on this guy's case. And that was why he had to go. But there's something else too, though, and then I'm going to leave it alone. And this is good. This is a precedent that's been set. BGS, you said you coached him. Somebody in the chat called it that you would probably coached him.
Yeah.
And I got to say he was smart, because then a few minutes later you were saying, Leah, I'm shocked he took this advice. But this is a good thing. You're IBMOR, and that's in your name. I'm SYSBM. He's Passport Bros. Collectively, we as BMPTs need to start doing this. We need to start looking out for our common interests, because we do have common interests. We're not all the same, but we got common interests. Interest is Black men getting passports, being allowed options in life, including options in women, to the extent that we are options. So we're going to have to start focusing more on this sort of thing as well. In the future, we're going to start focusing more on what the common interests are and what they're not, because this time, I think that he's coming out pretty well in the end, and the rest of us are coming out pretty well in the end, and we're getting our side of the story out. And though he never wanted to be the leader of this, he is becoming a type of spokesperson because they're forcing him to be. If we stay on this track, then it's going to be better for us moving forward, and it's going to be better for guys that are even too young now to get passports. And that's all I'm going to say. Thanks for being patient with me.
Okay, go ahead, Smitty.
What I wanted to say though is, well, Austin, I was impressed when I seen the interview earlier this morning, but I shouldn't have been. Is I think because I seen him doing a lot of big interviews because he did just Pearly Things and other podcasts like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in his, if you honestly look at his videos, I think he cleared his name in America because people in the comment section, even the women, were saying at the time like, yeah, he's not really doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I think, and honestly, if Brazil's a big country, I was talking to a few people. A lot of them are there right now, relaxing. Is not a big issue. You need to find sometimes like the smaller cities, like Fortaleza or something like that, if you're really looking for a relationship, because that's where it's really interesting because they're really traditional over in those places where men and women are not friends. Men and women don't really associate with each other. So
Okay.
it's about you actually going to that, and it's a big. I think it's a Afro Latino town too. If you want
Yeah,
black
it is.
people,
It
yeah.
is.
But it's actually, look at Philly Dom's YouTube. He has a whole black woman saying this, and telling you that the women are looking for brothers down there,
Yeah.
and saying that
Okay.
they're
Um,
aggressive.
And they're not gonna. It'll blow over in a couple of months, man.
Yeah,
It'll blow over in a couple of months.
most of them aren't really worried about
Hold
that
on,
because
month.
Hold on.
Carnival's
because
Hold
next
on.
month.
Hey, come on, y'all.
the main issue is honestly was the political climate. That it was a perfect timing because she took advantage of that, and that how the whole country is divided and people don't like where the country is going, and she took advantage of that and tried to use him as clout. That's all
It's,
it is. She read the
that's
wind.
all it was. But thing is, eventually that's gonna blow over. Go ahead,
Yeah, it's going
Black
to blow
uh,
Socrates.
over. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead, Black Socrates, and then who's next?
me. I
Let
was
me
gonna
go
say
Well,
after
something
in
him.
their
too.
face.
Go ahead after him, AL. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would
Black
say that
Socrates.
I was gonna say it's gonna blow off next month because next month is Carnival. You
Oh
really
yeah.
think they're gonna talk about
Yeah.
Oh
sex
hell no.
exploitation during
Exactly.
Carnival?
Oh
Come
hell
on,
no. Yeah,
come on.
oh
Yeah,
hell
good
no.
luck with that one.
Good luck with that. Okay, that's why she
And
did it now.
also, last thing,
That's why she did it now instead of later. But go ahead.
absolutely. And another thing, prostitution is actually legal in Brazil. What's
We know.
illegal is to have brothels or to manage the prostitutes.
Yeah.
But to have freelance prostitution is legal. So that's why I'm not sure what they're accusing him of. That's why I'm
Then
confused. I'm like,
Well,
she
They're
slandered.
accusing them for being
Being
black,
black.
bro.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
the
pretty
accusing
much.
being black
Pretty
and
much.
trying to be good, being good looking, being black and good looking, bro.
Y'all gonna get your turn, okay? Don't jump in. I'm trying to manage 10 people, all right? Please don't. Okay. Finish your thought, Black Socrates.
that was just it. I was going to say that Carnival's next month, so this is going to blow over by then. And also, I'm not sure what the accusation of passport bros are because in Brazil, prostitution is legal. I'm not accusing him of engaging in prostitution, but if he did, that would not be something they can go to authorities with because that's legal.
She used the passport bros being mainstream. She took advantage of the black women complaining about it. Took all that together and actually pointed it at him. She got support for it. That's what's called. It will actually blow over, like you said, within a month. It'll blow over. Go ahead, El.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching. I had to get in on this, bro, because if you don't remember, I'm the brother that's living down in Mexico, was living in Belize first.
Okay.
Yeah, since 2015. And just like Coach said, I'm a vet, traveled all over, going to foreign countries. And like I said before, you in the foreign countries, you're going to do your thing. And as a black man, trust me, when you go, like my first experience was over in Europe as well. And when I saw those older brothers over there back in the 80s and 90s, just living their life and chilling, it was like, you got to be kidding me. And they was just
What
like,
branch were you in, brother?
huh?
What branch were you in, brother?
Oh, I started Marines, retired from the Army, bro.
Aha. Retired Army,
you know how
brother.
it is. You do what you do. And
Roger
but
that.
living down south, I never been to Brazil, but all throughout Central America, all in those parts, all over Europe, even on the edges of Eastern Europe. Man, look, when the brothers, they're so mad, and BGS said it, these sisters, ever since the brothers started with the whole Brazil thing years back, and they had their little documentaries coming out, oh, those men are just tricking, those men are just using those women. It's not new. The bottom line is they're individualistic. It is like you said, they don't want you to do it. But the bigger thing is this woman represents the kind of snakes that's out there. And they're not just, you're looking at Brazil right now, but they're all over. And she's not going to be the last one. So just like tactics, let this be a learning opportunity for everybody else that's involved in it. If you're going to have a challenge, you're going to be out there. and you know he's doing his thing, and he was getting popular. But just a tactics, you got to look at it and understand those snakes are out there, and they're gonna come, and they're gonna keep coming. They're gonna keep coming because the last thing they want is, but just like you just said earlier when you did your thing earlier, you was talking about it, covering those two females, that craziness they had on there with that crazy reporter and talking about the whole Passport Bros. Just that's the last thing you want is a way for brothers just saying, you know what, you right, we are out. We don't want to talk to you. We don't want to deal with you. And there's better options everywhere. And my passport is the golden. I said this to people years ago. Your passport, your American citizen, going beyond being black. When you is that American passport, you're gonna go anywhere you want.
Yeah. All right.
Anywhere you want. And the brothers, if you try to get out of the way to get your money straight, and you can take it wherever you go, you're gonna find out. And the younger ones, I mean, I wish I jumped on all this stuff so many years ago, but the younger ones now, we can let them know and let them say, hey, don't waste your time with this bullshit. Stop wasting your time farting around with these females. They're non-serious. They don't want to take you serious. They don't want to support you. Don't waste your life. And then you're gonna wake up when you're 30 and 40 years old, like, oh man, and it's gonna be hard for you to do anything. And God knows what's gonna happen in the next few decades, how it's gonna be. So while you got the opportunity now, get them, get out there and find what you want. And don't let these snakes that's out there set up these things, and they're gonna come out. If she's not, I'm telling you, it's gonna be somebody else. One of them other little countries somewhere, you know, with some, oh, these black men are coming out here. Oh, shut up. They want the money and they want you. In fact, if you don't even have the money, you want you. And trust me, living in a foreign country, especially down there in Central South America, it ain't even about the money at a certain point.
Well, but you got to remember, most people in third world countries only go to the 8th grade. Okay, we have a high school experience is actually more educated than most of the people that you actually encounter. So, so there's that. There's a lot of your actually blue passport, all that actually added to your SMV. It's more than just money.
All right,
BJ,
it's interesting as well that
like I want to go in real quick and I'm gonna jump off.
Go ahead, Zula.
All right, so I don't know, like I just recently got off of TikTok, right? So probably like I don't know 2-3 hours ago. There are literally girls out there explaining, talking about, oh, well, it's okay that your pussy stink on TikTok. No. I really think I need to understand, bro. And they got girls out there defending, talking about, yeah, that's fine. And then you see in the comments, you just see women out there talking about, oh, that's fine. And then you got other women from across the world saying, literally, nah, girl, that's not fine. That's not good. There's something wrong with you. And like when you see the comments and you looking at these dudes, and these dudes are looking at these comments and like commenting, I don't see it. It's literally the cat's out of the bag. Like all these dudes are most likely jumping into other places, man. Like they do jump into Africa. Most of these dudes jump into Brazil. And I'm trying to get the sanctum done out there in Uganda. So if anybody want to come out to Uganda and have a nice time, let me know.
Okay. You mind if I interject, BJ? It's me. Yeah. I think the biggest important thing, man, is just enjoy, brothers. You know, the fact that this young man is in trying to enjoy a lot earlier in life than later in life, and is under a better tutelage of, you know, with the Manosphere, BGS, anyone who just speaks on brothers enjoying life. I think that is a key factor for us to really help the younger brothers understand it. The earlier you can do it, the better you're off, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is the thing when I heard the brother talk about, you know, whatever happened about the fight. As we all know, any foreign country you go to, there are going to be some, just like in the States, there are going to be some environmental scenarios that you can't control, or you try to control the best of your means. But I think the most important thing is that these young brothers are not being misdirected through a woman's lens versus our lens, because we know the detriment that is going to affect them if these sisters capture their mind, shame them, all this nonsense. And just like the whole shit with, you know, excuse my language, with that, the big sister on Fox News, you can clearly tell that she hasn't probably been anywhere.
No, she hasn't.
You know what I mean? And this what bothers me, is that you have a huge, massive population of women who, statistically can't even afford to travel within the states, make these drastic assumptions, and then the women that do have the ability to travel, you don't really hear peep out of them because they know the competition is fierce.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah, it
think
is.
that, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was just saying, I think that needs to be, that should be the light as well, because the fact that you got so many brothers, whether in the military, travel, personal leisure, that speak on these matters, and you have a huge conglomerate of women who are financially, whatever they're doing with their life, done fucked up, whatever you want to call it, speaking on matters that they have no wherewithal. And it's really disturbing because at the end of the day, when if we just put woman to woman, if we didn't know your education, your where your background was, and we just said, okay, look at A, look at B, and brothers is like, A look fine as a motherfucker. I don't know I don't care if she speaks gibberish. I'm going with that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It these sisters got to just say, you don't want to compete. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Stop wasting our time about shaming and all this other nonsense.
But
If
bro,
I may,
when they can't compete, they got to come after you. That's the only thing left, and they know they can't compete. That's BGS has said it many times. When I watch his programs, the bottom line is when somebody can't. It's just like when you say you racing against another guy, and you know he can't beat you,
Mm-hmm.
and you race
Mm-hmm.
and you race and you race, and 10 times you beat him 10 times. So what's his go to?
Yeah, you right.
You
You
got to
talking about
cheat.
you talking about
You got to cheat.
like,
You
yeah,
cheat.
you gotta cheat. You
Exactly. You got to
gotta,
find some kind of way to cheat, or you got to get
yeah.
free.
Yeah.
What they do, it's like when I watch the inmates out here, man, in the facility, the ones that can play ball, the ones that can't play ball, they start karate chopping, grabbing, snatching. That's what women do in the United States, man.
Proxy. They use their proxy forces, which in this case was one of the most powerful news stations in the country. They used that to basically tone police and mommy black men through a megaphone. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out is why, if you look at the rate of change in votes for Republican by black men, it's been increasing rapidly over the past 10 years. And the correlation between black women and black men votes have now become weakened to the
Mm-hmm.
point where there's very little correlation. So what I'm trying to figure out is why Fox News, which was trying to go for a black male audience at that point, right? Because black men were becoming increasingly conservative, why they
Mm-hmm.
would put on two black women that fit
What
a
city are
left
they in?
leaning.
What city are they in?
Oh wait, that's a blue.
Houston is a gynocratic city, okay?
There we go.
Houston, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. are gynocratic cities. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, that explains it. Yeah, cause I was trying to think because it just skipped my mind. Like, why would a
Come,
Republican?
come on, Adam. You should be hip to that, man. It's got so like in Atlanta, right? What else are they actually going to put on except women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gynocracy
Atlanta,
Central.
Atlanta's 200% gynocratic.
That is true. That is,
brothers, I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the same situation here.
yeah, but it's white gynocrats instead of black.
White, that's different.
Yeah, in
We,
Atlanta, the
Uh,
estrogen is in the
my
air.
next video is actually going to be talking about the white gynocracy, the state-run white gynocracy.
Yeah,
Nice.
and can I BGS you hit on it? Can I say something about that for a minute?
Go ahead. We got about
Uh,
15 more minutes. Go ahead.
yeah, you and somebody else brought up the whole thing and the difference between the brothers and the whole white male sex tourism thing, which it ain't new. In fact, I used to when I on base,
It's 40 years old. Okay.
I used to walk
shoot.
around and get mad
Mm-hmm.
because I would see all these women from all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you see them, they looking good. Some of them just sometimes just cross the border from Canada. Some of them looking good, especially the French Canadian girls. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of my things, right? And I would say to myself, these freaking white dudes, they're going all over the place and they're getting these women. Some of them are lackeys. I mean, let's
Mm-hmm.
just face it. It's not like everybody's gonna be your handsome Don Juan or Chad or whatever. And just because of that mindset that's out there and
Hello.
the image that's purported, and they know the differences, okay, the advantages, and they know the discrimination differences. Okay, they can go all over the world and these guys ain't making a lot of money because we're talking about enlisted military men. We're not talking about the officer class, which is even then there's still not a lot of money compared to the people in the world. And they're just cherry picking these women that they want. Because women out there are looking for these. Look, America's the land of what they used to say, the land of big PX. They're looking for those opportunities, and that used to be the thing of the past. And nowadays, it still is, but it's a whole different thing going on with it. And for those white guys, that sex tourism that's going on from that side of the whole program, that side of the whole, they're trafficking me, they're doing this, they're doing that. It was just so over the top when they went after that young brother that it was beyond ridiculous. That again, like how a lot of people said, it was hard for you to understand. First of all, how anybody took her seriously, and then second, like why would you give that much platform to something that's so out of balance, out of whack. And it just showed, like I said, she's not gonna be the last one. I don't believe that there's no Black American women who don't have their hand in stuff. I'm not a conspiracy theorist on that. All I'm just saying is, women talk all over the world. Okay, and some feminists out in those other countries, like when we were talking about in Mexico, how the younger generation there, they got a little bit more money, a little more influence, so they flexing a little bit. It's a little bit harder for the guys now, the younger guys there. But the older ones, they still on the program, so to speak. They still respecting their husbands, taking care of the household, taking care of the children, understanding that, it's not about somebody being over you, but look, I got to make this man happy. I got to be able to deal with this man.
Yeah.
They're not off in their mind somewhere like, oh, it's just about me.
Yeah. They still train wives where they're from.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't. We stopped training wives 40 years ago.
I want to. Can I go after him real quick? I just wanted to say this though. Don't get it twisted. And BGS covered this with like the women in the Gambia, but I like every country I've been. Like I've been to Dominican Republic. I've seen Black women, Black American women, sisters, either on one side of the whole sex tourism thing. Either they're with they bought a young dude and messing around with them, or when I just got back from Europe, I was in Paris and Amsterdam. I've seen a whole bunch of African American women like over there with older white European dudes. So they play the game more than us. Most times I'm on the plane, it's mostly Black women traveling
to
somewhere
Europe.
and going to Europe or the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So they're either on one side, either they're buying it or they're selling it. In Dubai, don't forget Dubai.
Always buy.
Well, that's my thing. There's not a lot of Black men traveling
out in Jamaica too.
One time. Yeah, Jamaica.
Caribbean, they buying in the Caribbean, brother.
Anything outside of the United States and Europe, they're buying. Okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is when they see a brother out there, they always try and mess up his game.
Oh, swear.
Because you could have took me. That's the problem. You're traveling without me. God damn it.
It's facts.
Stop it.
You're supposed to take a stand to the beach. God damn it.
Yeah, when I went to Cuba, it was the same thing. It was I was up in Cuba. I was chilling. Some chick on the bus. We was going to another city. This chick on the bus. Now she was from Brooklyn, and she was. I was like, oh, okay, you're American. You're from here. What's going on? She's like, oh yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I came out here. My husband's back home. I said, so you came to Cuba without your husband? All right, cool. Now I'm talking to some chick at the bar, I'm doing my thing, and then she coming up, interrupting every 5 minutes, trying to order something. Like, well, how many glasses of water are you gonna order? Like,
she's trying to get your attention. You're supposed to be dating her in Cuba.
Yeah, man, you got to make her feel good. You can't be out here making other women feel
did
good.
You start quoting you passages from the book to activate your STEM chip? You on the soldier chip?
Yeah.
you didn't say ready to comply, did you?
Oh man. Electronics don't work in that heat, bro.
Somebody else trying to get
that reminds me. Yeah, me. That reminds me. I remember back in 2016 when the late brother Charles Tyler had got a group to go down to Brazil, and he linked up with John Thompson, and this Black female from America had the audacity to crash the party and started asking. And she started asking, well, why won't you? Why you saw us? Why'd you guys ignore us? And I wish I was there because I would have told her, "You're the reason why we're down here. We came here to get away from you.
Get away from you.
Look
You
at this.
following. Yeah. They follow you
You're
every
the
place you
problem.
go. Yeah, they are. They
You
follow
were
you
the
every place.
you were the
They'll be down.
problem. Why?
They'll be down in Brazil, man, within a year, following you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they followed us into the manosphere. I mean, we didn't invite them; they came up in here. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
followed us.
all in the Kool-Aid.
and this is the
Well,
this is the,
they're
this is the
going.
next
They're
thing
going to cock-block you. Believe it. They're
because
going to
these
sabotage you.
But you,
oh,
you
and this is where when somebody said it earlier, we got to pool our resources, and for me, pool our resources to keep them out, to keep them from doing that. To know how to spot a pack of hyenas and have some countermeasures.
You don't have,
There
All
you go,
right,
brother.
you
The
don't have
tactics.
to just ignore them, man.
Yeah,
we need
Just
some.
ignore 'em.
If you
Yeah, just
excuse
ignore 'em.
my if you excuse the military terms, we need stand to every time we step out. And the brother from the Marines, the brother that my fellow Army vet knows what I'm talking about. If we wait, if we
If
already
if
prepared
if,
for him,
if you go to get away from them and they show up, and you date them, that's your problem. Okay.
that's your
no, no,
problem.
no.
was
I'm
was
not
this?
saying date him. I'm saying stand to, as in
And,
we see him coming. It's like
you run the other way.
What's interesting
Let them
about
know
it is
they're
that
local.
VGS, you went over some information with Dr. Johnson the show a while ago, showing that while black men out earn black women in America at every economic tier,
Right.
the difference between those earnings is about 1,000 to 2,000 per year. So it's interesting that these same women won't date these brothers that are at their economic level in the United States, but
Yeah.
they will use their earning capacity in that economic tier to fly to another country where that brother went.
And buy somebody.
Like, come on, man, or
Because
harass him while he's over there. Like, what's up with
they
that?
will, because they're trying to get you back in the
Right.
reservation,
Yeah.
man.
Why you
You
spending
can't
this
leave.
money on her?
You
Spend
can't
that money
leave.
on me.
You can't leave or take them with
Exactly.
you.
Let me tell you, everything you said is right, and I believe in the both, ignore them and the stand to, because not just look. You could just look at the easy places to travel all throughout the Caribbean, Mexico, Honduras, Belize, Guatemala. If you're there, it's almost like I don't know what it is, uncanny for me,
Well,
but you're gonna run into one or two of them single black females traveling alone, or just want to retire alone and go somewhere by themselves, and then they're gonna gravitate towards you, and you just
Yeah.
gotta wait them off. Get
Yeah.
the big hand
well,
up and be like, nope, don't even come this way. I can't save you. I can't help you. I can't give you no advice. I don't want to be your like buddy. All that. The worst thing is they come over to a foreign country, try to friend zone you in some freaking resort or some crazy shit.
They
This
will
is
do it.
get a
nonsense.
dog, buy a
Hold on.
loan. Get a
Yeah.
dog, die alone.
That's true.
well,
Somebody. Go
let's
ahead.
be honest here. The women that are able to travel
Mm-hmm.
to do, the extravagant things they see in their eyes, right? Get their back blown. That's extravagant, right? Um, that's like a small percentage, and most of those women, man, they've been ran through, dried up. They still on their last leg of life. And then the factor is that you have the remaining, group of population of the herd, I would say, that are still holding on to old narratives that don't even exist anymore. And that's the
Okay.
sad part about it.
Yeah. Well, that's their to their detriment, right? They're
Hmm.
not our problem anymore.
Your
They're not our
VGS, I can
they're
tell you
not our
the
problem anymore. Go ahead, AO. We got about
the, the,
5 minutes.
the ones I run across, I call it the 50-50. They either half of them are batshit crazy, or they, and I mean that completely. They done ran from the states because nobody else would deal with them completely. And then the other half is just they hoping for a dream. They hoping for a miracle.
Well, they got money. They can buy the dude when they're down there, just like we
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
they gonna
they can.
mess it up.
We buy.
They gonna
We
mess.
can.
I've
We can.
only seen older white women do that successfully. The
Brother, I'll
sisterhood,
be honest with
I've only
you.
seen one out
They
of
can do
maybe
it.
20
They had
do
to
it.
I've
change
seen,
they had to change their mindset, just like the white women do. Basically,
yeah, I've seen some black
There is
sisters
no
do it, and
hope for them.
one time.
I've seen some black sisters do it, and it has been a catastrophe, so
Yeah,
bad to
that's
the
what I
point.
say. I haven't seen them do it successfully.
Well,
But
because they're not trained to be breadwinners. Okay, down there they got to be breadwinners. They're not trained for. We are. We just do it
mhm,
cheaper.
that's true.
Yeah.
And even if you go to the more expensive Western parts of the world, right?
hmm
it's still significantly different how
Yes.
men are treated. Like
Yes.
from my personal experience from traveling like south of France or other places, right, that are just more affluent. The women still show grace, femininity, and just more of like, who are you? The interest, to sit down, to have an actual conversation. And even if there is sexual tension between two parties, it's so respectable. Where at the end of the day, she's like, I still want to stay in contact with you. Versus in the States, man, you still spent like 400 at the table.
Yeah.
She flirting and she's like,
four or five. Yeah, you spend $400 on a date for a fucking five instead of
Easily.
spending
I can tell you.
$50 for an 8. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
I can tell you the stories of when I was like in Amsterdam. Just go off of his story. Like I'm in Amsterdam. There's like they don't see African American men that much in Amsterdam, and if they do, they're just staying the tourists. Once you go to the outer areas and everything, like a lot of them, especially I'll say the biracial ones, like, oh, you're from the United States, and they'll ask you all these questions. And even if you have dinner with them, it's their culture to go half or pay for you because you're new there. So it's a lot more, like you get a lot more out of it. I was in France chilling out with this Moroccan girl. She drove me around, invited me to stay with her, drove me around Paris and everything, showed me everything, and paid for my dinner the first night. I paid for the second night. I didn't want her to pay for me the whole time. So it's yes, even if you're not going to a third world country or a country like that, there's still so many women that are from those countries that are interested in you because they don't see people like you that much.
Yeah, and that's debunks her whole argument when in the interview, the second woman there, not the OnlyFans, she was speaking about that men couldn't handle women who have higher social status or things of that matter.
Where you see that? The
They
same
looking
old
for a
trope,
lick.
right?
They want to get a lick. They
The
get what you said.
same old trope. Same old trope. Closing thoughts, folks.
For me,
I gotta jump off.
Go ahead.
To all the younger brothers who are listening, watching, and please take this very seriously. Please take notes, reference, go back to BGS's. Any of the footages, anything he has given you, and any of the brothers that you are, listening to. Please, young brothers, take this serious. Enjoy life early. Start early. Do not waste your time. Do not put yourself in a circumstance that you cannot get out of, because at the end of the day, as many of us brothers are speaking, you are putting yourself in harm's way. And please, again, go enjoy yourself, take heed, and I'm out.
All right. Who's next?
I'll be out on this
myself.
one.
Go ahead. Whoever's next.
All I want to say is when they tell us to be quiet,
Mhm.
shout louder.
That's what I say. I like
Thank you,
you.
guys.
That's what I say.
Have a good night, fellas. Thanks for
Don't turn it down. Don't turn it down. Turn it up.
Steal their ass back. What a joke.
Damn.
You can't steal something that wasn't stolen in the first place. You pushed us away. Remember?
Yeah.
You remember? You said, "We don't. I'm independent. I don't need no man." We've heard you. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But wait, where you going? Hey, remember, you don't need. You got this, right? Right.
Remember, man, you should have married that nice little OnlyFans model with the 3 kids and the backpack.
With the 2 kids. Don't get it right. 2 kids. Only 2. Goddamn it.
Yeah, but 5
The
baby
other one
daddies.
she ain't claiming until tax time.
My
Okay.
baby daddy.
The only time
She double filed. Okay.
she claimed she never filed that one. That's all.
Yeah, good luck. Lizzo can't save y'all this time around, folks. It's not going to happen.
Nope. Who's next?
I'm next. I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
Look, brother. Stop taking the. I just got off doing a live stream saying, why do men have to take a bad deal? You don't. Stop taking a bad deal. Stop letting people convince you that it's your destiny to work and die 40 years for her to live in a lap of luxury in a house she never put one brick forth to build. Fuck them. In the words of James Monroe Faulkner, you could tell that was an old man's name, which is my grandfather. Fuck them. Because guess what? If the shoe was on the other foot, they would say the same to you, right?
They already have.
Let them drown.
I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want
Well, you telling me I don't have to date a baby mama with 4 kids, extra
Yeah.
body fat, and a
Yeah.
bad attitude? Oh, Lord. But just remember these words. Stop taking a bad deal. Whoa!
Burner.
Who's next?
Brothers, watch the Diary of a Tired Black Man to see the path that I was trying to show y'all earlier.
That's an
It's
old
on
one.
YouTube. It's free.
Yeah.
But that's when we first started trying to tell him, hey, look, you about to step in that land, you about to step on that landmine and blow your legs off.
That's true. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll
Anyone?
go, and
Go ahead.
I just finish out mine. Like I said, since living, I've been trying to do it since 2007, but when I finally did it, living abroad, just the benefit alone of being out of the way of the hustle, bustle, craziness, and dealing back and forth with those kind of women is enough payoff alone. No less the other side of meeting somebody that can be more of what you want. You know, no matter what flavor, style, size, lifestyle you looking for. Like the other brother said, look, tell the younger ones, tell your family members, your cousins, your nephews, look, we ain't going to amusement park this summer. We're gonna put our money together. We're taking a trip. Even if we don't meet any women, we're gonna go and take this trip. I want you to see this. I want you to understand this. I want you to get a feel for it. Get them out there and let them understand. Just what the brother said, you ain't got to take a sorry ass deal for nobody and nothing. Don't let them waste their lives to wait till they get till they over 40, 50, broken down, having to give out half their money and do all this other stuff to try to get some piece of life. And like I said, who knows what's going to happen in the future, how hard it's going to be. It's already been hard enough for the brothers, you know. We ain't got to listen to nobody else's tirades about, oh, don't do this, or they're doing this or that. So what we doing it for? I don't care what you think I'm doing it for. As long as I'm getting something that's good for me, like he said, fuck them. The hell with them. Do it for you. And let them know, them young brothers know they're worth it. They deserve it. Just like they tell them, oh, girl, you worth it. You deserve it. No, we deserve it. They deserve it. Get them out there. Let them see. Like my youngest son, he went to Japan, had a blast. You can't tell him nothing. Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then Osaka came back to be baby mama. Can't make this shit up. Okay.
Hey, you know the crazy thing is that rapper she with, like he made one album, got and hooked up with her and just quit. Like he just quit making music for a minute.
She's a money bag. She's got all
I know.
the money.
I know. I'll go next though. My thing is to those people, and I don't know if they listen to that, but this is the people surrendering Austin and just no and having no evidence against him, saying that he was sex trafficking and getting sex tourism. Like y'all wrong. That's just evil because you're wishing another man to go to prison overseas. Like that's just wrong. That's one thing that's proved that black people, we really hate to see each other succeed or find happiness. But don't let this stop you from traveling, black man. Because honestly, if you don't say shit, nobody ain't going to realize where you're from, and that's most of the real.
Yeah, one thing you're going to have to learn that if you're the face of anything, you are a target. So you have to walk accordingly. You are a target. So do what you do, but actually be careful because you're a target. Any place you go. Who's next? Anybody?
I'll get out the way because I'm going to go ahead and pay these folks for another night here before I take my my trip tomorrow. And I know the checkout time is going to be in a few. The checkout or the pay the next night's time is going to be in a few minutes. So, look, thanks for being patient, having me on. Appreciate you advising Austin. And I just want y'all to let Austin know that if he gets banned from YouTube, I got a backup plan for him and he can reach out. And we need to keep this pattern up of us being PTs looking out for each other based on these common interests that we got.
Tell them where they can find you, Black Mind.
Well, my channel is Black Mind. It's the only channel with the name. And I'm also on Odyssey now. And Patreon is entirely too black, spelled as one word, no spaces, just proper spelling though, entirely too black. That's with a double O after the T. For those who can't spell. So that's where they can find me at. And I'm going to separate the well, never mind. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I'm here on YouTube under Black Mind, Odyssey under Black Mind, and Patreon under Entirely Too Black. And thanks a million, sir.
All right.
Just subscribe to your channel, bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
be safe, Black Mind. Yeah.
All right, thanks a million, and thanks for flying again with Jet Black Airways, where Jet Black is also a verb. Y'all be good, gentlemen. Thanks
Go
for the
ahead and give the
support.
last of it. What was it? Black patriarchy?
Yes, Black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.
All right.
All right, you have a good evening, fellas.
All right, Black Mind. Okay, who's last? And one more.
Yeah. All right. Like always, another interesting stream. Gonna sit back, see how this unfolds, and this is just the beginning of 2023. It's gonna be an interesting year. It already started off. The fuckery never ends. I love
firework. Yeah, it's gonna happen, man.
I'm definitely gonna do some content on these females. I gotta find their own fans. Talk about this shit.
Hello, fuckery department. I'd like to file a claim.
Bullshit right there, man. How the hell you gonna talk about people that's traveling and you have a person on your box on a major platform? That tells you where we are as society. This is degeneracy right here. Usually people are checked and viewed thoroughly before they put them on platforms.
I found a TikTok. I found a TikTok. My friend sent me to show me because I was talking to him about the whole Austin situation. He's found a whole TikTok dedicated to men in South America that women follow. A lot of black women. Okay. And they talk about going down there and picking him up, just like the prison babe. Yeah. It's like my thing is that all right. Like most black men know what they do down there. They just don't say nothing. They don't care what the black women do down there. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
I'm out. Right. See you.
All right. I want to thank my Cash App, Jonathan. Appreciate you for sending me the Cash App, and also Expansion Wiring. Thank you for the Cash App. With that, folks, I'm gonna hang everything up. Have a good night, and I think Edward already wrapped up his stream, but go and see what he actually had to say. But
good night, BGS.
All right. Until next time, folks.
Thank you, brothers.
Appreciate y'all.
Take care.
Later.